It's something I think the Jamaican government should do. They should consider paying salaries fortnightly rather than every month. It's something that I think I'd love to debate about whether or not we should pay salaries monthly, or we should pay salaries fortnightly. You have to wait for an entire month to get your salary, man. You get broke. I wonder how many people at the 16th of June, their salaries are almost depleted. We should think about that. That we should be paying salaries twice per month rather than once per month. Put more money in the people's pocket. I don't know that we can be teachers and doctors and middle income people have to wait 30 days to get paid. No, I think we should change that. I think we should change that. We should start paying people every 2 weeks. Minimum wage earners, minimum wage people get paid every week. And you know why? Because they don't have the cash flow to keep them until December. I mean, if you are working, for example, let's say you're earning $150,000 per month in Jamaica, and you pay your rent and your car loan, you don't have no whole money left, and you have to go wait for one whole more month before you get paid. No, I think we need to adjust that and start paying people every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, your salary must come into the bank, and so people have the cash flow to carry them through. What do you think, listeners? Do you think that the government should examine fortnight pay rather than monthly? What would you prefer? Would you prefer to be paid every 2 weeks or every month? I don't mind if I get my money every day. No, I tell you the truth. I don't mind if I get money when I leave. I don't mind if I. I don't mind if I get my money every day. If I work, at the end of the day, you pay me. The Bible said that you mustn't allow the sun to go down on people's wages, people who are poor, because their mind is on it. So let me tell you how much time. Let me hear from my listeners. Shafrin, probably should ask that question in the YouTube. How often, if the people would rather be paid fortnightly, which is every 2 weeks, every week, or I can understand that every week may be a little difficult because of the administrative process, but I think that people can get paid every 2 weeks. All right. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the program tonight. There is big news in Jamaica with the deportee deal. There is news coming out of the Jamaica Gleaner that the government of Jamaica is entering into an MOU that would see 10,000 non-nationals passing through Jamaica. Wow. It's a big, massive story. And there is a lot of concerns about it in media tonight. Let me jump over to TikTok and say good evening to my producer, Caroline. Good evening to you, Caroline.
Good evening, neighbor. How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Very concerned.
These titles you're giving me.
Yes. Yeah, you're my producer. I'm looking forward to the outside broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm absolutely looking forward to meeting my Jamaican brothers and sisters all across Jamaica, so that they can meet Hello Neighbor, sit down and have a chat with us, and hear their views. Caroline, I was thinking earlier that some countries in the world are moving away from monthly salaries to fortnight salaries, and you don't think it's something Jamaica should consider?
Not necessarily, neighbor, because I think that getting a monthly salary, they're able to budget better, neighbor. But if you get paid every 2 weeks, then you may just spend off all your money, and then you're not able to meet your budget.
Really? But I don't mind getting paid I wouldn't mind when 6 o'clock come or 5 o'clock, come I get my pay every day. I wouldn't mind it. If I work in
Oh,
$5,000,
really?
yes, I would manage my money. I don't mind getting my pay every day. I get it every day. Because the fact of the matter is that when you pay me at the end of the month, you keeping my money for me. I don't want you to keep my money for me. That's money that I could use to invest. That money that I could use to do other things. When you hold on to my money for 25 days, then you will keep my money. I don't want you to bank it for me. Have you ever considered that your employer is really banking your money for you when you work already?
Well, neighbor, I pay my staff every week, so
Yeah,
I
but yeah. So if I
that.
work for you, if I work for you for 4 weeks, and you hold on 3 weeks of my money, and you give me my pay for, then you keep 3 weeks of my money. You could use that money to do many things for yourself that I could use it to do for myself. Now I understand the administrative process of making up a payroll every 2 weeks, but
Uh-huh.
um, I think the United States pay every 2 weeks. Isn't that so?
I think so.
Yes, they
Yes.
do. They don't pay every month at all. And I think people need their money, man. It's the 16th of June and people broke. Did
Yes,
you
but
know, for
neighbor.
example, that when you get paid in December here in Jamaica, let's say you get paid the 18th of December, you're not getting paid again until the end of January, you know. They should move forward the January payday. Come on.
But neighbor, when you get paid at the end in the end of December, you have enough. You'll have enough money to last for the
Not
holidays.
public sector workers, because they don't get any extra and they don't get bonus. So
They
if they
don't
get,
get
they
bonus.
don't. No. So if you're a teacher, for example, and you are getting 180,000, that's what you get. Um. So then you're not going to get paid again until January 25th. That's a long period to wait, considering the holidays. No wonder they call it tambourine season. Anyway, Caroline, massive story breaking in Jamaica, but once again, um, the response coming out of the government inadequate. Because I can't see how you put out a 3-page press statement explaining such a massive news in a country that don't read. Don't make no sense to me.
Well, that is a part I don't agree with, neighbor. I really would have preferred a press conference, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we have to work with it.
Yeah. Well, no, but we have to learn still. I mean, it is what it is. But this is getting the type of coverage that you would have think that it's another tsunami. It is almost like a tsunami. Massive story. Um, breaking in Jamaica. The cleaner is calling it the Porty deal. Jamaica offers to accept non-nationals being booted from the United States. Now, the difficulty with that story is that this is the story. Now, this is not the story, but it is what many are going to run with. Now, I am going to spend a little time on this. As a matter of fact, before I came on here this evening, I took the time to put out a video on it. You can go to my page, this one here, the Hello Neighbor podcast, and you'll see it there. It's about 4 minutes where I took the time to break it down for you and tell you that, as a matter of fact, the more I read this, the more I realize that I think it is a very good thing for Jamaica to do. And many people may be dropping off the chair when they hear me say that. Um, I made a mistake some time ago. You see, when I took out a loan from the bank, and I did not read the fine prints. I just was happy to sign without reading exactly what was in the fine prints. And when I read the fine prints of this, I think it's a win for Jamaica. Absolute win for Jamaica. Let me ask you people there that have visas, and all of those people who want to be in the United States. So all of you in the United States know. The United
Everyone, post the live, please.
the United States, you see, the United States sent Chinook helicopters here when we had Hurricane Melissa. As a matter of fact, I remember President Trump on Air Force One was asked whether or not he was going to help Jamaica, and he said, "Oh yeah, we have to think about it. Think about, that our tourism industry would die if Americans stop coming here. You know that." Did you know that America, if they should put an embargo on Jamaica, everyone who know where have no house, no car, no business, no go prosper? The United States is our friend. They are friends. Now let me ask you a question. If your neighbor is having a challenge and your neighbor asks you to keep their children for them, wouldn't you keep them? Come on, people. You're not thinking here, man. The United States is a friend of Jamaica. And I personally would want the United States to friend us rather than China or Russia, which are the two other superpowers, including the United Kingdom, France, I think. Yeah. So here is the most powerful nation in the world, the richest country in the world, asking Jamaica for a favor. And you don't think Jamaica should say yes? Any Jamaican tonight who is thinking that this is a bad move by the government does not know foreign policy, not thinking about geopolitics, not thinking about Jamaica's interests and sovereignty, and I think they are taking the administration for a fool. So you think you don't there thinking, you think that Andrew Holness and Dr. Chang and Kamina Johnson Smith are stupid? That's what you are there thinking? No, man, shame on you. You think that your government would sell out the sovereignty for this deal? Don't listen to the propagandas. You hear propagandists out there, see? This is good for Jamaica. Not bad. As a matter of fact, I commend the government for this. I really do. I think it is a fantastic MOU, and it is going to make Jamaica a greater friend of the United States. Don't listen to the rumors. Jamaica need the United States. The United States does not need Jamaica. All of you out there chatting, let me repeat that. Jamaica needs the US. The US don't need Jamaica. There is nothing that we can do to punish the United States. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But there is everything that the United States could do to crush us. And you don't want to be a friend of the United States? Jamaica is struggling with civic literacy. Jamaica is struggling. That is our problem. The problem we are having is that we have a population that is vulnerable to misinformation, biases, yes, and these are being exploited even at this time. Member Harry, good evening to you.
Good evening, neighbor.
Are you joining me to comment on the salary thing, or are you going to be doing the notes?
Definitely not the notes tonight, neighbor. Definitely not. Actually coming out of a meeting, you know. But I might become a employee under Caroline's company, you know, neighbor, because I realize she pay every week.
Oh yes, you would prefer fortnightly pay, or every week, or every day.
I came from fortnightly, you know, neighbor. So I didn't start out monthly, you know. Right, and I transition between both, and I can tell you, the fortnightly has its pros, neighbor, because sometimes you may have something in the middle of the month.
That's my point.
That you need to do, and you can't do it.
And to be frank, Harry, a lot of people struggle in that final week, because I remember when I was working at a particular place, what we had to do, and this is practical, what we had to do was to put in place a policy where in the final week you can get 1 week of your salary on loan until you get paid. We had to do that because what we would find is that the employees would be borrowing, them have to start borrow.
Yeah, it definitely happens, neighbor. But I know people may look at it in terms of to say, you know, payroll to do, but we're moving in a world where things are automated. You know, you punch in the clock, you punch out. If there's any discrepancies, you bring it before the payroll is submitted. So we're moving beyond that, but it also teaches people proper budgeting, neighbor.
Yes.
Because you can't make no mistake with that fortnightly pay,
Yes.
right? And I think also for many persons, fortnightly work well within that Christmas period, because we have this saying that January for the New Year is 100 days.
Yes.
So when you get paid in December in the mid-teens or late teens, God go with you after that.
God go with you.
Because it's not like January pay is going to come any earlier,
And that is the point I'm making, that if we don't do that, then we should look at bringing forward the January payment. But these are some of the things that we need to look at as a society. I'm just saying that today the 16th of June, and a lot of people will have to wait another 2 weeks. And I'm sure fortnightly gives you, anyway. You all right?
It does. That's why we need to submit our resumes to Caroline in the Neighbour. I wonder if she hiring.
You don't want any accountant?
Neighbor, did I tell you the story the other day?
Yeah, you did. You did tell me the story. Yeah.
Okay, so that one didn't work out, but then one of our moderators, she actually has an aunt who took the position, so don't have any more room, not right now.
Yeah. Harry, before I go to the deportee story, listen to this. Listen to Isaac.
You can't fight one case in a foreign for me?
No, me don't have that jurisdiction there.
So me have to trick them and bring them come here and you fight me?
Yeah, bring them now and sort it out.
The rascal.
There's a profanity on it. You see, I'm sorry. I hope that you don't flag me for that, TikTok. I want you to remember, as you listen to this, that Mr. Isaac Buchanan is a lawyer. I want to repeat that. Mr. Isaac Buchanan is a lawyer. That is not Mr. Isaac Buchanan's major calling here now, because Mr. Isaac Buchanan is a legislator. In other words, he writes law for you and me. He reviews law, he writes laws, he makes amendment to it, and Mr. Buchanan is a representative of the people. What constituency is he from? In Portland, is East or West? Are you there, member? I don't want you to leave.
East.
Member?
Neighbor East Portland.
East Portland. Yes.
Everyone tap the
Stay with me, member. Stay with me, member, because I know you would be very interested in this. I want you to listen to Mr. Buchanan. As a matter of fact, there's an
You can't fight one case.
Stay tuned. I'm going to the deportee story. The deportee story. Stay tuned here. I'm going to show you why Jamaica must take them deportee here. And Mr. Holness, don't you be distracted here. You make the deportee them come to Jamaica and be transitioned on to where they're going. Good arrangement between the government of Jamaica and the United States. Commending the government for it. Only thing I would say, Dr. Chang, is no matter with them long press statements there. Call a press conference and explain it to the people of Jamaica. All right, so we get back to that. Listen to Mr. Buchanan.
Foreign for me?
No, me don't have that jurisdiction there.
So me have to trick them and bring them come here and you fight me?
Yeah, bring them now and sort it out.
The rascal. You know long me have a case for you.
What kind of case that?
A domestic violence.
What?
Domestic.
The woman a beat you?
Yes.
So here right now, in Jamaica, when man get beat by a woman, police don't really work, them not take the report.
Why?
So you have to be a man, you have to just hold it, my G.
Whatever I.
Yeah, I saw it going in Jamaica.
So they don't have no case like that at Jamaica?
No, they're gonna laugh off for you. It go on still, but them not gonna take you serious.
All right. Member Harry?
Yes, neighbor.
Member Harry, my concern here, you see, is that spousal abuse is not funny. And whether it is a man who hit a woman or a woman who hit a man, the pain does not have any gender. And you know, remember, Harry, that there are lots of men in Jamaica that are being abused by their women.
Neighbor, that number has actually been increasing over the years, you know.
That woman a beat man.
Yes.
No,
It
member.
has been on the increase.
Member, Immanuel Kant said that every human has dignity, not just value. Value can be traded. You don't trade dignity. You can't put a price on it, and you can't laugh at it. When Mr. Buchanan jokes that a man is to be a man and that police would laugh at you, he converts that man's dignity into a punchline. He tells every abused husband, your pain is less human. But dignity isn't male or female, it's human. Remember, Harry, we shouldn't laugh after the fact that women are beating up men. That's not something that a legislator should take and joke over.
No, it shouldn't, neighbor. Everybody situations and incidents should be taken seriously. It shouldn't be taken lightly. And what he's doing now is conforming to that bias and discriminatory act that has always happened whenever something of this nature, happens with a man. He's contributing to that in this very moment, because what he should have been looking at is to explore what the law says when it comes on to the abuse of any gender, because the law wasn't written just for woman, right? A man against a woman. But he's contributing to that very change that we want to see in society, neighbor. It is not just one gender that suffers from abuse, and it's about time we put the seriousness on it, because it what we've grown to know is not truth. It is a skewed reality that is fitting a narrative, because we believe that all women are, feminine, and they don't have the strength of a man and all of that. But you do have emotional abuse. You do have control in that way.
There are women who abuse men, Harry. As a matter of fact, when I was preparing for this program, I know of a case where a man is suffering abuse. The woman is abusing him. First of all, she's not sleeping with him. Everything in work, he better carry it in, and he's I don't know, but it is abuse. Women literally abuse men. And if this matter is brought before a legislator in Jamaica, I find it very discouraging that the legislator would laugh and to say man must be man. Because if it was reciprocal, where somebody reports that a man is beating up a woman, people would take that serious. Why do we think that women can't beat men or women can't abuse men? Because I know of cases where this is happening. What are they meant to do?
Neighbor, I think they need to understand that we can't ask for one thing, because this is a human life. Anything can happen. One blunt blow to the head, and anything, and a man can be unalive just like a woman. A lot of things can happen. The truth about it is that there is no man on this earth that is as good as a manipulator and emotional controller than a woman can. That is truth. A man, and we know we see what takes the free, neighbor, in terms of the bias that men control women and so on. Nonsense. The natural landscape of it is that a woman understands very well how to control a man and be very much more manipulative, right? And I know the woman women on the program and who are listening may not think that, Neighbour, but that is the reality of the world we're in.
Better believe it.
But I don't like the fact that men should be seen as ones who can't be destroyed. They're indestructible. But at the same time, we ask that men be more in touch with their emotions, right? But at the same time, we are not seeing them as, human beings in this space. To say we don't take their concerns seriously.
Would you laugh if a man came to you and reported that his woman is abusing him? Would you laugh at him?
No, Neighbour, I wouldn't, because like I said, it's something I would.
Would you think that he's not a man? That he's not a man to be a... What if he is so emotionally controlled that he does not retaliate? And because some men are like that, because quite frankly he could probably retaliate. But what if he decides, I will not even hit her back, but I will seek help to resolve this matter? That's nothing to laugh at him about. Not at all.
No, Neighbour, it's one in which you'd have to start to encourage this man to do some form of get psychological help, do some therapy, that kind of stuff. Because when a man succumbs to this act, it means that he is first manipulated in the mind, right? And when you do that, that is how you actually beat down on a man, It is not the physical abuse that takes the greatest toll on a man. When you can let him doubt himself, you win the war all day, every day.
Yeah.
And it's a human kind of thing. So I would look down on him as lesser than Neighbour. What I would, if I realize that he's not seeking help, then he might forget some tough love. You jerk him 2 times and you bring him go him need to go, and you light a path for him. And if he chooses not to take up the offer in front of him, then I don't think there's much more you can do. And this goes for both ways. It's not just for a man, it goes for a woman as well. Because you have some people in a Neighbour who sadly suffers from the Stockholm syndrome and so on, and it's hard to pull them back from it.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm going to go and deal with the deportee matter. Then I'll come back.
Yes, Neighbour.
Fantastic.
Okay, so good evening, listeners. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. For those on TikTok, YouTube, Patreon, and X, welcome. Trust you all had a great day. Please, over by YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. And for those of you on X, please repost the live stream. And for TikTok, we ask that you tap, share, repost, send the heart me's, and keep the comment section very respectful and extremely active. Thank you so much. Have a great show, Neighbour.
Well, thank you so much. This morning, it dropped in the Gleaner. The Jamaica Gleaner dropped this story with the headline, Deportee Deal. That's dishonest. That is dishonest. There is no deportee deal coming. Not true. That's the first thing I want to point out to you. That is a lie. Let me ask you something. When you hear the word deportee, what comes to your mind? I don't know if the Gleaner was trying to sell people or they're trying to mislead, but the Gleaner again misled using language. One word has caused confusion in Jamaica. One word. The word deportee. In Jamaica, a deportee is a returning resident of the country that was kicked out of another country. A deportee is a Jamaican. Jamaicans understand deportee to mean Jamaicans. Not one. Listen to me carefully. Not one of these persons are Jamaicans. Not one. So why did the Gleaner use the word deportee? You see it? That should have been addressed by the government today. That's the first thing that should have been addressed. Why is the Gleaner suggesting to the people of Jamaica that, listen to the psychological catch. The headline reads, deportee deal. You have already registered in the minds of the people that these are Jamaicans, but they're not. But you then have to go and read the rest of the headline, which says, Jamaica offers to accept non-nationals being booted from the United States. But that's not how the mind works, you know. The first word is already captured and interpreted in the mind. Can't change. Anyway, Kingston and Washington are expected to begin talks on an agreement first pitched by a senior Jamaican government official that could see the island accepting up to 10,000 non-Jamaicans being deported from the United States. A document from the United States Embassy in Kingston, seen by the Gleaner, outlines the operational framework for the proposed Third Country Nationals TCN agreement, which has triggered controversy in several countries that have entered into similar arrangements with Washington. The TCN deal came under local scrutiny last year when a Jamaican man, Orville Etoria, was deported from the United States to an African country of Eswatini in July with no ties to the nation. Following intense international scrutiny and diplomatic pushback, the Eswatini government released and repatriated him to Jamaica in late September 2025, and he was reunited with his family. Okay? You can read the rest of the article in the Gleaner. Now, the Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Chang, responded. Government confirms talks on U.S. deportee transit deal, vows strict safeguards. Chang, the government has confirmed that it is in negotiating, that it is negotiating a controversial United States-backed migration agreement to allow non-Jamaicans deported from the U.S. to transit through the island, but says it is not opening the country's border for an uncontrolled program. A statement from the Ministry of National Security and Peace issued Tuesday afternoon said, the safety and security of Jamaicans and visitors to the island, as well as its obligations under international law, have guided every step of the discussion on this memorandum of understanding between Jamaica and the United States of America concerning third country nationals. Now, how did the Gleaner get this story before the government made it public? That's another story. How did the Gleaner get this story and forced the government to have to respond even before the MOU is completed? Remember, the minister is saying that they are negotiating. They've not signed off on anything yet. And the Gleaner got access to it. How? Who gave the story to the Gleaner? Well, that's the story. As a matter of fact, that's the bigger story. Anyway, the Gleaner goes on to say that the statement follows a Gleaner story published early Tuesday, which disclosed that the United States had sent a proposal to the government regarding Jamaica's acceptance of a third country nationals. Dr. Chang, I want to first clarify that the individuals who may be transferred under this framework are not being brought to Jamaica as permanent migrants. Dr. Chang said these are nationals of countries other than Jamaica who are being facilitated through a structured process to transit through Jamaica to a third territory, including return to their home countries. In other words, Jamaica becomes the port. You're transitioning and Jamaica is the port. Jamaica is not opening its borders for an uncontrolled migration program, Security Minister Dr. Chang said in his statement. He said the MOU is the outcome of negotiations between two sovereign partners and that it is not an automatic acceptance of any proposal. Therefore, listen carefully, the government of Jamaica have not signed any MOU to accept 10,000 deportees here. And every person online saying that is a liar. Every person, including Pelucid Perry, who for some reason today had to start the live like a Santa Claus because somehow this big massive story dropped and everybody want to have their piece because they are looking for every and anything to embarrass the government and to bring down the government. Well, there is no story here, you know. There's no story here. Well, in a story, the story is really the Gleaner. How the Gleaner came by this information and is amplifying it like said the government is bringing 10,000 Jamaicans on the island, deportees. Nonsense. Nothing go like that. Chang said Jamaica's technical teams engaged in detailed discussions with their U.S. counterparts to ensure that the framework included the necessary safeguards and protection for the country. At no point did Jamaica compromise, listen carefully, for those of you who want the facts. This is not a country that runs with facts. This is a country that is exposed vulnerable to lies, and it is hurting us. As a matter of fact, it makes me angry, disappointed even, that Jamaicans who ought to be respected can exploit people's vulnerability such. It is almost treasonous. It is almost treasonous what is happening to our brothers and sisters online. And all I can do is appeal to my brothers and sisters in Jamaica, for God's sake. Tune them out now. Tune them out. They don't wish you any good. They are going down to hell and they are dragging you down there with them. Tune them out now. Stop listening to them program. Shut them down. They are no good. They are no value. They are liars. And they are thieves. And what does the thief come to do? To kill, steal, and destroy. They want to destroy the country. That's all they are interested in. They're not interested in truth. They're not interested in facts. It is a disgrace what is happening to Jamaica. And let me tell you this, no government PR can solve this, you know. I agree that the government can do better. But were I advising Dr. Chang, I would tell Dr. Chang, well, let me not go there. At no point did Jamaica compromise its sovereignty or ignore its duty to the Jamaican people. Jamaicans, not your prime minister. I don't know if you know about a secret MOU that Peter Phillips signed. Do you know about it? Have you heard about, did you hear about the secret MOU that Peter Phillips signed? And did you know that not even the cabinet of Jamaica knew about it? Not even the Prime Minister, PJ Patterson, was unaware. You comrade bloggers, you know how wicked you know. And some of you have been, I'm going to reveal this for the first time. Some of you have been sending me nasty messages. I don't know, you know. And I wasn't going to speak about it, but now that I'm at it, they have been sending me some nasty messages. Nasty. I mean, no matter how I block them, they find other numbers to attack me. Yes. What you cannot do is to come here and tell me what I have said that is not true. You can't do that. You cannot come here and tell me what I have said that is not true. So, you can send all the nasty messages you want to send and all the propagandas you want to spread. Okay? I don't afraid of that. And if you think that you're going to intimidate me or you're going to shut me up, you have a next guest coming. Because if the devil send you no come, you no buck up in a God. If the devil send you no come, you no buck up in a God. And I can give you a warning. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Don't get me started. Don't get me started, because I know the history. And there's a lot I can say that I have not said. Others have said it. I haven't said it. You don't want me to start talking it, because I can, you know. I've been around long enough, and I know the dirty underbelly of the politics, including the fact that people have been unalived in this very country. Nasty politics have been practiced here. Okay? But I am covered. You can't do me nothing. Don't you can send all the message, you can. I don't give up. I don't give a rat bottom. Not a rat bottom. Okay? Because I tell you something before I get back to that. Nobody's attacking Andre Stevens. Nobody's attacking Ingram. Nobody's attacking Pelosi Perry and Caution and Voice of the Nation. And they have no credibility. Well, not saying that of my brother, Ingram. No credibility. Pure lies. Why aren't they being attacked? Oh, no, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Anyway, there was an MOU hid up at the Jamaica Defense Force. Frank Phipps, that brilliant Jamaican lawyer, found it out at the Commission of Inquiry, which was a sham. One of the greatest scam in Jamaica is that nonsensical Commission of Inquiry. A waste. If there ever was a waste of taxpayers' money, it was that ridiculous Commission of Inquiry. I don't know why the Prime Minister at the time did not lock it down. Mr. Golding should have locked down that circus held down at the Jamaica Conference Center. It was a piece of embarrassment on Jamaica that we subjected our Prime Minister to that, or the Prime Minister subjected himself to that. That was no Commission of Inquiry. As a matter of fact, the Commissioner himself was sleeping at one point, fell asleep in the Commission. And many Jamaicans did not know that it was one of the greatest piece of samphire upon the people of Jamaica. A damn samphire. And at the end of the day, they got their viral moment. They got their viral moment that they used and have continued to use about pack bags and go. It was all part of overthrowing the government of Jamaica. But Frank Phipps revealed that there was a secret MOU signed by a former Minister of National Security, kept up at Upper Camp between Jamaica and another country. And we talk about sovereignty. What the hell is that? What is sovereignty? What is sovereignty? When one, and you know, that man became president of the party. And ran to become Prime Minister of Jamaica. And the comrades today, I didn't hear them mention that MOU. And there are others. There are other MOUs. But I can't talk about those. Because they're too sensitive. There are other MOUs that were signed. If every truth was to be known, there would be no peace. But one day, it will come out. Think it now will come out? Dr. Chang said that at no point did Jamaica compromise its sovereignty or ignore its duty to the Jamaican people. At no point. And that's the leadership of Andrew Michael Holness. Andrew Michael Holness is not going to sell out the sovereignty of Jamaica, guys. Not going to happen. It's part of our problem, you know, is trust. Trust. We have been cultured not to trust our government. That's part of the problem. We were clear, Dr. Johnson, about our national interest and relied on our experience over many years in managing international migration matters to inform our position throughout the negotiations, he said. He said there will be no transfers until both countries have agreed on the required operational procedures for orderly implementation. Chang said individuals with criminal antecedents, listen carefully, individuals with criminal antecedents will not be accepted under this agreement. That is very, very important. As Jamaica, the Jamaica's security considerations remain paramount. So if you're a criminal, you're not going to come. Further, he denied that the number of deportees may reach 10,000, as the Gleaner reported. 10,000 Jamaicans deportees are coming to Jamaica. False alarm. Is the shout of fire, fire, and getting people to run. Dr. Chang insisted that the figure does not represent an agreed quota or commitment under the MOU. So the Gleaner misled. Chang said the process will be controlled and phased. So at no time will 10,000 people be on the island. No time at all. But yet still, in the minds of Jamaicans, 10,000 deportees are coming here. The United States proposal stated that up to 25 individuals would be transferred under the agreement every 2 weeks. But Chang said that while the understanding contemplates such transfers, this is subject to an important operational safeguard, where the number of individuals pending transfer or remaining in Jamaica exceed the threshold of 10 persons. Listen to that, guys. The government of Jamaica is saying that the most people that will be on the island, transferring them, none of them not Tanya. Jamaica is not where they're going to stay. They're not living here. They are going to just land in Jamaica, held in Jamaica, before they move on to their country. 10. Only 10. And the government is saying that the process will be paused until conditions are reviewed and normalized. This is to ensure that there are no more than 10 people remaining in Jamaica within any 30-day period, he said, confirming a Gleaner report. So this idea that 10,000 deportees are coming to Jamaica is a lie. Not no go so. Not no go so. It is a false alarm. Nothing goes like that. Nothing goes like that. So what is Pelucid Perry up on this program chatting about? Mr. Perry, why you going to start live today and spread this? It is not true. But you went call one prayer meeting, man. You call a prayer meeting and pray. Pray for your sins, brother. Pray for your sins. Ask the Lord to forgive you for your sins rather than no mercy. Did you read the minister's statement, Mr. Perry? You read it. The final numbers under this agreement therefore remain contingent on that flow. And it is designed to establish parameters that are appropriate and manageable for Jamaica. The government of Jamaica has also insisted that all actions under this agreement comply with the domestic laws of both countries and applicable international obligations, said Chang. He said lessons were drawn from similar arrangements entered into by countries including Belize, Costa Rica, Paraguay, Panama, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, where terms were tailored based on individual national circumstances, laws, and security consideration. So Jamaica is not the first country that is entering into this MOU. Belize is doing it. Costa Rica, Paraguay are doing it. Panama doing it. Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis. He said the US has indicated that it will cover all costs with the transfer process and related agreement. So I hear that Jamaica is going to rent hotels and put them at taxpayers' expense. A lie, them lie. A lie, them lie. That is the statement coming out of the Ministry of National Security and Peace. Now, the public debate surrounding the proposed memorandum of understanding between Jamaica and the United States regarding the third country national has generated understandable concerns. Whenever issues involving migration, national security, and sovereignty arise, Jamaicans are right to ask questions. However, as the discussion unfolds, it is important that facts, not fear, guide the national conversation. And I want you that are listening to me to pay attention to the facts. Because much of the outrage appears to be driven by the belief that Jamaica has agreed to accept 10,000 foreign deportees who will be permanently settled on the island. That is what people are believing. That is inaccurate. And I blame the Gleaner for it. The Gleaner report caused the fear. The proposed arrangement is not a mass migration program. It is a controlled transit framework. You understand? It is not a mass migration program. It is a controlled transit framework. And I'm going to show you that Jamaica must do this for the United States. Don't listen to the hype. This arrangement helps this country. Doesn't hurt Jamaica at all. I commend the government. I commend this government for entering this. I'll show you why. Many people are not thinking because they are thinking with the color of their shirts. And they're looking for every little reason to blame the government. Take off the scales off your eyes, man. The proposed arrangement is not a mass migration program. The individuals are not being admitted as Jamaican citizens. They won't be living here. They are a third country. Third country. So the United States, Jamaica, 1, 2, and their country. It's a third country process. And Jamaica is part of a structured arrangement involving onward transfer. It's like containers. You know how many cars come to the wharf that don't belong in Jamaica and container? They move them to other country or move them to their country of destination. Jamaica is a transit port for these people. The government has stated that the individuals with criminal antecedents will not be accepted under the agreement. Furthermore, Jamaica retains the discretion. Very, very important. Jamaica is in control of it, not the United States. Jamaica retains control. This is Jamaica being a sovereign state determining its own process, not the United States. The United States is not dictating any terms here. These are two friends working something out that is benefiting both friends. But the friend who is Jamaica retains control. One of the most persistent claims is that Jamaica is surrendering its sovereignty. Nothing like that. Far from diminishing sovereignty, it reflects that Jamaica is a sovereign state. Now, there is a practical question. What does Jamaica gain? Why do it? And I want you to understand that international relations are built on reciprocity. International relationships are built on reciprocity. In other words, you do for me, I do for you. Let me ask you a question. What can Jamaica do for the United States? The United States sent, I think, 4 Chinook helicopters to help Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa. What can Jamaica do for the United States? Answer the question. All of you there that are, running up your mouth. As a friend of the United States, what can Jamaica do to help the United States? You see, nations really assist one another because they are legally obligated to do so, They do so because relationships have to be cultivated over time through cooperation and goodwill. The United States is Jamaica's largest trading partner. You know what that means for you that have a job? The United States is Jamaica's largest trading partner. Do you know what that means for the economy? One of the most significant sources of investment comes out of the United States. Our largest tourism market, Harry's online, he has studied this very well, comes from the United States. And the United States is home to a vast Jamaican diaspora. The conference has been held in Montego Bay. The economic and strategic relationship between Kingston and Washington is among the most important bilateral relationship Jamaica possesses. Not with China, not with Russia, not with the United Kingdom, not with France. It is with the United States. The United States is our friend. And he and the United States must continue to be our friend. Understand that in terms of international relations. If we can do something to assist our friend for once, we should do it. Because Jamaica cannot but not benefit from this. It cannot. This cannot hurt Jamaica in any way, shape, or form. But it would be unrealistic to suggest that Jamaica should automatically accept every proposal from the United States. This is not how sovereign nations operate. However, it is equally unrealistic to assume that every request for cooperation represents exploitation. If Jamaica can assist a key partner in a manner that does not compromise national security, does not burden the Jamaican taxpayer, nor does not undermine our sovereignty and complies with international law, then such cooperation should be viewed as an investment in a valuable relationship. Because diplomacy is not merely about what a country receives today. It is also about building reservoirs for goodwill that will matter tomorrow. Andrew Holness, Dr. Chang, build reservoirs with the United States. Build them. Build reservoirs for tomorrow. Because if we do not cooperate with our largest trading partner, the richest country in the world, the country that can help us the most of all countries in the world, and the country that can hurt us the most, then why do we want to have a strained relationship with our friend? The United States is our friend. We want them to be our friend forever. Because if we are attacked, the US can help us. If we're broke, the US can help us. If we need healthcare workers, matters of national security, the US can help. And you know, history shows that small states benefit from strong and reliable partnerships. Jamaica lives in a world where natural disasters, economic shocks, security challenges, public health emergencies, and geopolitical uncertainties can emerge unexpectedly. And in those moments, having a trusted partner matters. Thank God for the United States. Dumasa, help the US here. When hurricanes strike, you think Trinidad can help? When security cooperation is needed, Barbados can help us. When trade opportunities arise, where do we go to? The Leeward Islands? When investment decisions are made and when international support becomes necessary, the United States is among the countries most capable of providing immediate and meaningful assistance. No question about that. Friendship among nations is not measured by words, you know. It is measured by cooperation. We must cooperate. That is why we sign an MOU. That is why we see what we can do. Because Jamaica remains in charge. Critics may argue that Jamaica should receive, shouldn't do it. But why? They have to weigh this against the reality that international partnerships are often strengthened through acts of mutual support that extend simply beyond financial transactions. Jamaica don't need to be paid to do this. This idea that Jamaica is receiving money, nothing no goes up. The philosophical question at the heart of this debate is simple. What kind of partner does Jamaica wish to be? 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let me see if I can wrap this up without being too exhaustive. The fact of the matter is that facts matter. And I'm going to give you 10 facts and wrap this up. 1. Jamaica is not agreeing to permanently settle 10,000 deportees on the island. That's the first fact. Jamaica is not agreeing to settle 10,000 deportees on the island. Not true. Secondly, that this is being discussed as a controlled transit arrangement, not an open border migration program. So every person coming on the island, controlled. Not criminals. No criminal antecedents. That is point number 2. Thirdly, that Jamaica retains the right to review, approve, reject, or discontinue participation under the agreement. In other words, at any time, Jamaica could say, we're done. Fourthly, the government has stated that individuals with criminal antecedents will not be accepted and that national security remains paramount. Number 5, the United States has indicated that it will cover the cost associated with the transfer process, meaning there is no indication that Jamaican taxpayers will bear the financial burden. Number 6, the process is designed to be limited and controlled with operational safeguards to prevent large numbers of individuals remaining in Jamaica at any one time. 7, Jamaica and the United States have cooperated for decades on trade, tourism, security, disaster response, and migration matters. This proposal exists within that broader partnership. Number 8, supporting a trusted partner does not mean surrendering sovereignty. Sovereignty means Jamaica decides what agreement it enters into and under what conditions. Number 9, that every Jamaican has a right to support or oppose this proposal, but the debate should be based on facts rather than rumors for political fear-mongering. And finally, that the central question is simple. Can Jamaica protect its security, sovereignty, national interest while maintaining a strong partnership with its most important ally? And that question is a resounding yes. That is the discussion the country should have. And we should move away from the mischief and propaganda that currently is being generated online. Remember, Harry?
Neighbor,
Yes.
Harry's asking for 10 minutes. Listeners, could you please tap the screen, share the live, repost the live, and send the heartbeats, please?
Fantastic. All right. We're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get back to that story. But in the meantime, the Prime Minister was in Montego Bay and had quite a job at the opposition leader. But before that, listen to Manayard.
Because you know something? You know what I pick up on the ground? Let me tell you what I pick up on the ground. Everybody tired of PNP. You know what I pick up on the ground? Let me tell you what I pick up on the ground. Everybody tired of PNP. Hold on now, a serious business, you know. Everybody tired of PNP, even PNP tired of PNP.
I thought I would play that. I came across it today. Mr. Shaw said that even the PNP are tired of the PNP. PNP people tired of PNP. Listen to the Prime Minister at the diaspora conference in Montego Bay. Before you do that, listen to the Prime Minister. Here is he.
My dear friend, Mr. Mark Bowling. Mark, how could I forget you? You know, it was not always the case at these events that the leader of the opposition was invited to speak. But as this event evolved into more of a national event rather than a government-sponsored event, it became the protocol that the leader of the opposition, which is a constitutional position, quite a unique thing in constitutional innovations, to have the office of the leader of the opposition written into the Constitution. So, Mark, we can never forget you. And we're always happy to have you here as leader of the opposition. That's how we do it in Jamaica. My dear friend, Mr. Mark Bowling. Mark, how could I forget you?
Announcement by G2K.
Jamaica's leading election polls show the JLP ahead of.
My dear,
So that,
you know, it was not always the case at these events that the leader of the opposition was.
That was the Prime Minister at the diaspora conference in Montego Bay this morning, suggesting that the leader of the opposition will always be invited and will remain the leader of the opposition.
What if I could build an app that works my
I want
way?
to play a little bit more of the Prime Minister as he addressed the diaspora conference, though. Here is the Prime Minister being introduced by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Here is the Minister.
The diaspora isn't perfection, but a Jamaica that works hard to be better every day. A Jamaica of which you are proud to work for and with, and in which you are confident to invest, and to which you plan to return. This is a vision of Prime Minister Andrew Holness that continues to inspire, and to which all Jamaicans continue to aspire. Would you please be upstanding and join me in welcoming the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica.
No way no better than you. No way no check it. Please, be seated. I don't know. I just felt that a while ago. I mean, isn't Minister Johnson Smith such a wonderful minister? I believe she's the best minister of foreign affairs. But I think she gave my speech. Bishop, the Honorable Conrad Pitkin, representing His Excellency, the Governor General, the Speaker of the House, Most Honorable Juliet Holness, Dr. Horace Chang, our Deputy Prime Minister, we affectionately refer to him as the President of the Republic of Montego Bay. And of course, my dear friend, Mr. Mark Golding.
Incidentally, I see where Nationwide is saying that the Prime Minister called Mark Golding a superb opposition leader. I'm not so sure I heard that. I was listening to see if I heard that from the Prime Minister, that Mr. Golding is a superb leader of the opposition. I am not so sure that was said. Nonetheless, let's listen in a little bit more to the Prime Minister as he addressed the Diaspora Conference 2026 in Montego Bay.
Mark, how could I forget you? You know, it was not always the case at these events that the leader of the opposition was invited to speak. But as this event evolved into more of a national event rather than a government.
So I'm reading from Nationwide. Prime Minister hails Mark Golding as a superb opposition leader. Can anyone online confirm where the Prime Minister said that Mark Golding was a superb opposition leader? Can anyone confirm that for me, please? Nationwide is reporting that the Prime Minister hails Mark Golding as a superb opposition leader. Can anyone confirm that the Prime Minister said that Golding is a superb opposition leader? Please. When I saw that today, I said, is Mr. Golding superb? I don't understand. What does that mean? But Nationwide is suggesting that that the Prime Minister says that Golding is a superb opposition leader. But the Prime Minister is saying that he is happy to have Mark Golding there as the opposition leader. Listening to the Prime Minister.
Sponsored event. It became the protocol that the leader of the opposition, which is a constitutional position, quite a unique thing in constitutional innovations, to have the office of the leader of the opposition written into the constitution.
I think that especially media that is traditional in Jamaica ought to make sure that they are reporting the facts. And I'm trying to confirm whether or not the Prime Minister said that Mark Golding was a superb opposition leader, as is being reported by Nationwide News Network. Mark Golding is superb. Not seen that where the Prime Minister said that at all. Well, if anyone can confirm that the Prime Minister said that, I'd love to get those that piece of information, and it would be interesting to see that. If not, I think Nationwide should remove that misleading piece of information, claiming that the Prime Minister is saying that the opposition leader is superb when he obviously did not say that. Listen what the Prime Minister said.
Institution. So, Mark, we can never forget you. And we're always happy to have you here as leader of the opposition. That's how we do it in Jamaica. That is the strength of Jamaica, which is a constitutional position, quite a unique thing in constitutional innovations, to have the office of the leader of the opposition written into the Constitution. So, Mark, we can never forget you. And we're always happy to have you here as leader of the opposition. That's how we do it in Jamaica.
Oh gosh.
That is the strength of Jamaican democracy. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody fool you about Jamaica's democracy. There is no other country whose democracy is as strong as Jamaica. So believe me when I tell you that. I have always said that Jamaica is the first black democracy in the world. Yeah, and I have not been contradicted successfully so far. But it is the truth. It is something that.
By the way, listen to this. I picked this up in what.
The following is a paid announcement by G2.
Well, G2K didn't pay for this.
Polls show the JLP
I'm coming up with it. When I heard that today.
did renewed discussion.
When I heard that today, I searched for this piece of
Ability.
tape, and I came up with this when the Prime Minister said that today. It is very interesting. So I found this piece of tape here. Listen to it.
Discontent with Simpson Miller's leadership is not new. Listen.
It's not about personality, but about the issues. It seems the PNP has gotten to that stage where it is not concerned with the issues, because the PNP has become a kind of know-nothing, anti-people, anti-progressive party. And that tied to personality and cultism. I will never become a member of the Labour Party, but I'm straight up one thing: the Labour Party will be in power for a long, long time. You have a good night.
Well, you have a good night too, sir. You have a good night too. I wish you a good night. But when I listened to the Prime Minister today saying that Mark Golding will be back at the conference as opposition leader, I remember this man is a excuse me. This man is a bit of a prophet, you know. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Don't go yet. What did you say? Tell us again what you said. Tell us what you say again.
Personality, but about the issues. It seems the PNP has gotten to that stage where it is not concerned with the issues, because the PNP has become a kind of know-nothing, anti-people, anti.
The PNP has become a kind of know-nothing, know-nothing, anti-people, anti-party. Huh?
Progressive party. And that tied to personality and cultism. I will never become a member of the Labour Party, but I'm straight up one thing: the Labour Party will be in power for a long, long time. You have a good night.
Well, you have a good night too, sir. I didn't know that you would have been the prophet to of Jamaica, that the Labour Party will be in power for a long time. you know, Marty, I tell you the truth.
Oh gosh.
And as a matter of fact, that is part of the problem here. Listen to the Prime Minister again.
That the leader of the opposition was invited to speak. But as this event evolved into more of a national event rather than a government-sponsored event, it became the protocol that the leader of the opposition, which is a constitutional position, quite a unique thing in constitutional innovations, to have the office of the leader of the opposition written into the Constitution. So, Mark, we can never forget you. And we're always happy to have you here as leader of the opposition. That's how we do it in Jamaica. That became the protocol that the leader of the opposition, which is a constitutional position, quite a unique thing in constitutional innovations, to have the office of the leader of the opposition written into the Constitution. So, Mark, we can never forget you. And we're always happy to have you here as leader of the opposition.
Because you know something, you know what to pick up on the ground. Let me tell you what to pick up on the ground. Everybody tired of PNP.
That's how we do it.
Hold on, I see what this is. Everybody tired of PNP, even PNP tired of PNP. You know what to pick up on the ground. Let me tell you what to pick up on the ground. Everybody tired of PNP. Hold on, a serious business, you know. Everybody tired of PNP, even PNP tired of PNP.
All right.
Slavery is not concerned with the issues because the PNP has become a kind of know-nothing, anti-people, anti-progressive party. And that ties to personality and cultism. I will never become a member of the Labour Party, but I'm certain of one thing: the Labour Party will be in power for a long, long time. You have a good night.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by G2K.
Well, no, G2K didn't pay for that. Let's see if we can move to the Prime Minister in Montego Bay. We're coming back. 8:38, 22 minutes to 9 o'clock. Coming back.
That is the strength of Jamaican democracy. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody fool you about Jamaica's democracy. There is no other country whose democracy is as strong as Jamaica's. Believe me when I tell you that. I have always said that Jamaica is the first black democracy in the world. Yeah, and I have not been contradicted successfully so far, but it is the truth. It is something that we can be proud of. And listen, democracy is not a sanitized exercise. It can be brutal. But many of you are from countries where the brutality of the democracy is probably worse. So you will understand that what you read in the papers and on social media, it's just part of the democracy. So,
You know what to pick up on the ground. Let me tell you what to pick up on the ground. Everybody tired of PNP. Hold on, a serious business, you know. Everybody tired of PNP, even PNP tired of PNP. You know something? You know what to pick up on the ground. Let me tell you what to pick up on the ground. Everybody tired of PNP. Hold on, a serious business, you know. Everybody tired of PNP, even PNP tired of PNP.
Equal rights and justice. this big song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember us the mandate, we serve you well. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell.
You know what I pick up on the ground? Let me tell you what I pick up on the ground. Everybody tired of PNP. Hold on now, a serious business, you know. Everybody tired of PNP, even PNP tired of PNP.
Back home,
All right,
back to Jamaica.
Let's go back to the Prime Minister.
I am very happy to see you, and I'm very pleased to see a super packed room. I mean, you look good. There is an energy among Jamaicans, and you can feel it even before anyone says a word. It's warmth, it's spirit, it's the memory of collective struggle, it's the swag, it's the assertiveness, it's the ambition. I think that's the word that describes us, ambition. And I feel it and see it in this room. Over the past 8 months, Jamaica has carried grief, loss, worry, and hard work. Hurricane Melissa tested us, but the Jamaican spirit held and held strong. When Melissa made landfall on October 28th last year, it came as a Category 5 hurricane. It's the strongest storm to have hit Jamaica, and it is the 3rd strongest hurricane on record. In a few hours, communities built over generations were wiped out. The call went out, and you answered. From the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Panama, all over, wherever there were Jamaicans, wherever you planted roots, you responded. You sent funds, you organized relief, you spoke up for Jamaica, you called home, and you checked in. That made a world of difference. So before I speak about plans, programs, financing, or reconstruction, I want to begin with the simplest thing we do in Jamaica, which is to express gratitude. Thank you. Let me see the real Jamaicans who understand that. That's what my grandmother used.
The Prime Minister is speaking at the 11th biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference in Montego Bay. Want to encourage you to tap and share the live at this time. Keep the comment active. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We're bringing you some of the Prime Minister's presentation. We're going to go back to Member Harry. We still want to talk about the deportee matter. I think Chops is going to be joining us to have that discussion. But tap and share and repost as much as you can. Let's continue to listen to the Prime Minister at 15 minutes to 9 o'clock.
To say thank you. So, thank you. Thank you for proving again that distance has never weakened the bond between Jamaica and Jamaicans abroad. And this is why the theme of this 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, Diaspora Partnership, Rebuilding a More Resilient Jamaica, already has flesh on it. You acted before the conference banner went up. You moved before the speeches were written. You showed what partnership looks like when we're tested. This week gives that partnership more structure, more focus, and more work to do. I'm happy to hear that there are projects already structured for communities that have been affected by the hurricane. Thank you for your service and your contribution. In 6 years, Jamaica faced COVID-19. You know, that's almost a distant memory. A global supply chain crisis, the war in the Ukraine, food and fuel shocks, Hurricane Beryl, Tropical Storm Raphael, Hurricane Melissa, and now another Middle East war. All of this created pressure on our country, whether it is in energy, supply chain, everything. And so for a small open economy, Jamaica as a small island developing state exists in a very brutal space, and we face increasing, overlapping, and greater intensity events. That is the nature of the challenge we face. But yet, Jamaica has held, and we have held up very well.
Thank you so much again. Thank you.
Unemployment is at a record low. We're moving from as high as 13% 10 years ago to now just about 3.5%, the last figures that came out.
Thank you.
It's a massive reduction.
Thank you, sir.
It has pushed us now, believe it or not, to practically full employment. And business people and employers will tell you that we now have another problem, a different problem. And we just can't find enough skilled labor to carry through the growth agenda.
Tap and share.
It's a good problem to have,
Thank you, Cindy.
but it's a problem nonetheless. And I'm hopeful that this will be teased out a little bit more in the conversations that you will have in the sessions to follow. Inflation is back within our target band of 4 to 6%, and we have kept within the target band except for the COVID period for the last decade. And that is exceptional for a small island developing state where inflation was a real challenge for our economic management.
All right. That. All right. So we heard a little bit there from the Prime Minister as he addressed the diaspora conference in Montego Bay. Okay. All right. Okay. In Montego Bay. All right. Let's go back to Member Harry. Member Harry, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, neighbor. I'm doing good. Good night again, everybody.
Member Harry, the matter of the news that came out in the Gleaner today, the headline is where I start, Harry, because somehow we're gonna have to step up this. You know, our moderator always say we have to step up our game, but we're gonna have to step up this this pursuit of facts and information. Remember, Harry, when you hear the word deportee, what comes to your mind?
Well, culturally and traditionally, neighbor, you think about those persons who would have served their time overseas and coming back to Jamaica.
You're not thinking about
depending on-
Haitians and Trinidadians and Barbadians. You're not thinking about those as deportees.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. Well, because it's just how we're cultured. And when you think about it, you think it is your native persons or the nationals coming back home for whatever reasons. You know, they were expelled from a foreign nation, and likewise, I believe any other country would think the same. So it's almost a universal word when you are speaking to specific countries.
Yes.
Because if you say to Haitians that, you know, deportees are coming back home, or you know, we're going to get a batch of deportees, they're going to think that it is Haitians that are coming, not a transit route, not a transit activity or to be carried out.
Correct. So why did the Gleaner use the word deportee when none of these people are Jamaicans?
Well, the thing with it, in a neighbor, you want to have that soundbite effect. You want to have that opening where you grab the attention of the person. It's a part of writing, but I think it is an abuse of the art at this moment, because you can captivate your audience with a bang, open with a bang, with truth and better words. In this case, it is opening with a bang through misleading people. Because I can tell you this, neighbor, just before you started the show, or just around you started the show, someone from my workplace said the government is bringing in deportees.
From your workplace?
From my workplace, neighbor. And I had to clarify it before I leave. That's why I'm a little bit late for the program, you know. But I had to ensure that I gave the clarity as to what exactly is happening, and also gave them references to go and check themselves.
Okay, so the real,
which I made here tonight.
Yes, thank you. So the real news, Harry, is that the Gleaner didn't just report the news; they framed it, and that one word "deportee" is why Jamaica exploded. That's the problem we have tonight.
Yes, Neil, because there's a negative connotation around the word deportee in Jamaica's history. You know, I can't speak for any other countries, but I'd like to say maybe similar, specifically in the Caribbean region. And it's, to be honest, from my end growing up, when somebody tell you you're a deportee, you feel away, you know, right? You feel ashamed. And as such, it holds a very negative light in our culture, in our society as a whole.
Yeah. So the word deportee is a loaded gun. So the Gleaner chose the word that bleeds, because bleeding stories travel faster than boring stories. So it's bleed. The Gleaner wants to bleed the story, and that is dishonest, Harry, because not one Jamaican is going to be among the people coming here.
No, and that's it, the thing about the neighbor. It is doing a grave injustice to those who, I want to say, who are highly ignorant on a specific matter. So they may be educated and somewhat intelligent in their own right, but you can still be ignorant on an issue. And the moment you appeal to the emotion and to the cultural mindset of a person, they totally forget the factual part of it. They totally forget the investigatory part, where you want to say, is this true? Are these really deportees?
Let me ask you a question. When you saw the word deportees, did you think they were foreign nationals, or you thought they were Jamaicans?
I thought they were Jamaican. I opened the
you Harry Henriquez, the professor on this program, you thought they were Jamaicans?
Yeah, because you see the heading first, neighbor, and then For me, being an investigator person, I wanted to know how did we reach to 10,000 deportees? Because
Correct.
this for me is an astonishing figure, and it's not in the good way.
Well, can I tell you that
Right.
it caught me off guard too, because when I was called this morning and I saw I was actually heading somewhere, and when I saw the word 10,000 deportees, I said to myself, good God Almighty, but this is a crisis. This is a crisis on the island. How are we going to facilitate 10,000 deportees? That's how Jamaica got engulfed in this fire today, unnecessary. What a shame on the Gleaner to frame the story without reporting the story.
Neighbor, the Gleaner should come out and issue an apology.
Oh,
not just to the government, but to the people more so than anybody else.
Yeah.
Because what they've done, neighbor, is loaded a gun filled with misleading. It's almost like you give a man, neighbor, an empty gun to go on a mission. You very well know
that these are not
on a
deportees.
suicide mission. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So in Jamaican culture, Harry, deportee equals criminal. Full stop. It doesn't matter if it was visa overstay or unaliving. Once you hear deportee, the mind paints a tattooed man in cuffs, somebody who is returning for some criminal offense. Not true.
That's correct, neighbor.
So when yes, go ahead.
Everybody group them as one.
Correct. So when the Gleaner said deportee deal, every Jamaican heard government selling out criminals to America. That's fear. That's outrage. That's searchable. Or what the people hear is that 10,000 Jamaicans are coming back home because America is deporting them.
And with that, neighbor, we think of an overload and our carrying capacity as a nation to handle these people.
10,000 criminals. 10,000 criminals coming back.
Yes. Especially at a time when we've seen our murder rates going down. It is almost like you're sending a subconscious message to say, listen, all these people coming back and we can't handle them. Right? We're just getting a hold on the ones we have here. How are we going to handle 10,000 more in one instant? So it paints that doom and gloom picture, whether the Gleaner wants to admit it or not, whether the editor and the association within the Gleaner wants to admit it. That was exactly what they did.
Uh-huh. Well, that's the story, I think. And that is where I think the government ought to have been found, have to be been zeroing on to say to the Gleaner, why did you do that? Why did you allow Jamaica to be exploding on a word? Because that is what got all Jamaica riled up today. The word deportee. I don't know. I think it is quite something. Let me go to Chops Media and see if I can get him to defend the newspaper today. Chops Media.
Greetings, neighbor. How you doing?
Morning.
Good to see you, Harry.
You know a bit about reporting and journalism. The Gleaner didn't just report the news; they framed it, and that one word, deportee, is why Jamaica exploded today. Chops Media. Why the Gleaner use that word, deportee, when the Gleaner is not unaware of our cultural biases?
Neighbor, the Gleaner is staying what I call true to form. The Gleaner is not a mouthpiece for the Jamaica Labour Party. There are those who will say the Gleaner is a mouthpiece for the People's National Party. I will not come here and say that. I'll leave that to the public to decide. But I don't think any Jamaican should expect that the Gleaner is going to carry a report that is accurate or is beneficial to the government. The Gleaner has remained consistent in its reporting. And of course, the Gleaner is in the business of journalism. They are not in journalism for the noble purpose of disseminating information for public consumption. They are in it for the business of it. And part of the business, which Harry just touched on a while ago, is creating headlines will generate a certain amount of clicks. Because really and truly, that's what pays the bill. Nobody's going to glean a check because they write an article or a headline that is accurate and, speaking facts, quote unquote. Right? We all expect that, but the truth is that's not the world we're living in today.
So the gleaner chops have sacrificed the art of journalism for the business of journalism.
Absolutely, you are 150% accurate on that, sir. And we see what it has caused the gleaner for making that decision. You know, they choose to make that decision in terms of making that sacrifice, and it's not necessarily paying dividends for them. So framing, as you rightfully say, Neighbour, framing the conversation in a particular way to get Jamaicans, edgy. And there's no reason for us to be edgy. I'll tell you why. If we have confidence in the government, and I think the people of Jamaica have spoken on the 3rd of September last year, they have displayed a high level of confidence in the government. And I think that they should not have anything to worry about at this point.
Don't jump there too far, Mr. Chops Media, because the Gleaner came upon this MOU, and before the Jamaican government was able to sign off on it and make it public. Are you concerned as to how the Gleaner came by this information?
I am not concerned, because I know this is a part of the game as well. There are individuals within the circles of government that will leak these information to media houses from time to time. It's a part of the discourse. It happens all the time. And it's just a matter of how do we manage the information when it gets into the hands of the Gleaner before the government can front run these sort of things. It's a matter of how you manage it, because these are not things that you're going to escape. It's going to happen. It's not the first time, and it certainly will not be the last time either. It's how you manage it going forward that is really my concern.
So the Gleaner gets it, and then they hide the real story, because the real story has nothing to do with the Porties. The real story is what came after those two words: Jamaica offers to accept non-nationals being booted from US. But a man reading that sees deportee in full caps, and then the other in smaller letters. Chops Media, the government had to respond through the Ministry of National Security and Peace. Are you satisfied with the response?
Absolutely. I think the government
you are?
Yes.
But let me ask you a question, though, Chops Media. How many Jamaicans took the time to read that press release? How many Jamaicans who saw the Porty deal read through it?
Very, very few.
So how is it appropriate?
Well, the response is appropriate. If the method might not be adequate, but is it inappropriate? Yes, it is appropriate. The contents of the
So when I speak, because the response job must speak to what the Gleaner publishes. Jamaica today, my brother, my phone was ringing off the hook, and I must tell you, I was quite distracted. Had to spend a lot of time late this afternoon. I was very busy coming home to see how to cover the story here for the program tonight. Jamaica went up in almost proverbial flames to think that the story is that 10,000 deportees are coming here. Don't you think that we could have done better in terms of cauterizing that? People were jumping online all through the day, misleading the people of Jamaica.
Well, one could say, and it's one of my pet peeve, that press releases are not necessarily the most effective way of communicating. It is one method of communicating, but it is certainly not the most effective way. However, one of the things that I noticed that the Jamaica Labour Party government has done is whenever these situations arise, they usually pivot to the post-cabinet press briefing. And I'm quite certain that cabinet meets and they would now have a post-cab hopefully tomorrow. And if there's a post-cab tomorrow, I am anticipating that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, possibly the Ministry of Justice, or the Ministry of National Security will be a part of that press conference to verbalize the government's position on the issue.
Why did you think that because the government, based on the response I read, seemed to be having to be forced to explain a story that broke, that it was not prepared to be in the public space just yet. As a matter of fact, the government is suggesting that they were still negotiating, and now the government is forced to reveal what is happening while it is negotiating. Very inappropriate, I think. But why do you think the government did not reveal this to the public before it was leaked?
Ask that question again, neighbor. Are you asking why the government?
Yeah, I'm saying to you that the response that the government put out, they were forced to respond. In other words, they had to clarify something that they were not ready to release. And I'm saying to you, the government is still negotiating this deal or this MOU. I'm just asking you if you think the government ought to have, given the people of Jamaica some idea that this was happening.
Neighbor, from where I sit, I would say no, and here's why. You're dealing with a very sensitive matter.
But no, you are forced to basically speak on it before you were ready to do so.
Right, and you spoke on it now because you're trying to set the record straight. No, nobody is prepared. Nobody is prepared for leaks. Nobody goes to their office every day and put a plan in place because they know that somebody's going to leak some information. However, it is a part of the whole process of governance. Now, the question you're asking is if
would it damage the government's negotiation if they had said, we are thinking of doing this with the United States? In other words, preemptive.
No. And I tell you why. There are certain discussions, especially discussions as it relates to foreign policy. That's one. Two, national security. These things are not stuff that you discuss in open field because it has several implications. First of all, the matter is not yet settled.
Right.
And as such, what would you be reporting to the public?
Right.
Because you're still negotiating. You have nothing really concrete tied up yet.
Yes.
So as a part of negotiation, you don't do that in the public space either.
Agreed.
So that discussion for me is appropriate to keep it on the lock until you work the kinks out. Then you can go public with it.
Fantastic.
So I understand why it was not, put to the public earlier.
Yeah. When I heard about this today, I remember the secret MOU that Dr. Phillips had signed. And when I listened to the PNP really hitting this one, I said to myself, they should be careful, because other MOUs were signed and are available. But it brings back a bit of memory to that and Chops Media. And the whole matter of trust in government, because quite frankly, Phillips went into an MOU and the cabinet wasn't even aware of it. Dr. Chang is saying, though, that this is quite a different thing, that the the people of Jamaica, the sovereignty of Jamaica, the security of Jamaica is under no threat, and this is not a secret either.
Exactly. And that is where the contrast and the differences between what Peter Phillips would have signed then and what the government is negotiating now. The Peter Phillips signed off on MOU that gives the United States the rights to investigate Jamaicans, wiretap their phones, and to gather intelligence on Jamaican nationals.
And that man did that without the cabinet approval. Not even the prime minister knew about it.
But what he gave up was he gave a foreign country the right to gather information on a Jamaican without following due process. That's tantamount to treason, if you ask me.
Oh God!
And what that has done, it put our citizens in Jamaica at the mercy of a foreign power that can wiretap your phone.
Yet he wanted to become prime minister, to lead the very country that he virtually sold out.
Right. So what is being negotiated now is nothing remotely close to what Peter Phillips did then.
Do you have the minister's statement on hand there, Chops?
I do have the minister's statement, yes.
Would you want to help our listeners to understand what is the position of the government as far as this is concerned?
As best as I can, yes.
Yes.
You see, the question that a lot of Jamaicans are asking is really, what is the benefit to Jamaica? And I use the word tangible benefit.
And are there any risks? And are there any risks to us?
And are there any risks? So these are the questions. And I'll answer the last one first. In terms of benefits to Jamaica, when you're dealing with foreign policy and national security, not every benefit is measurable based on what you can
dollar
see
value,
with the naked eye, or what you can count out as a dollar value. Yeah, not every benefit you can identify with the naked eyes, especially when you're dealing with foreign policy, because some of the benefits are not stuff that can even be discussed publicly. Some of it are just stuff that will be identified further on. Don't see today. For example, in this particular case, where Jamaica is asked to facilitate transit holding for persons who are being deported from the United States to other countries, we don't know the details of what is worked out with the United States. But there are benefits to be derived. And even if you're looking at it just from the outset, yeah, you could easily say that by virtue of us signing off on such a MOU to assist the Americans with their own foreign policy, that strengthened Jamaica's relationship
with the US.
And there's no other benefit to any country than to strengthen your relationship with the greatest, the strongest nation on earth.
Well, I made that point. What can Jamaica do for the US? And what can the US do for Jamaica? And if at a point when the US need our help in their foreign policy, and we step up and said, well, yes, under some arrangement, we'll help you.
You don't want anything greater than that.
Yeah.
America remains Jamaica's largest trading partner. It is the largest source for tourists that come to Jamaica. Bear in mind that tourism is one of our greatest revenue earner. It is the largest source of remittance. That's where people send money from.
Yes.
Right? And it is importantly one of our strongest and most important security partner.
Yes.
Remember, one of the things that Jamaica has been priding themselves on for the last few years is our ability to reduce murder and to control
and they provide
crime.
a lot of intelligence to us, so
Absolutely.
people don't know that.
If you notice within the last year or so that the amount of guns that have been detected in the United States, which should have made their way into Jamaica, it means that the Americans have now stepped up their campaign on preventing illegal firearms from coming into Jamaica. 15, 20 years ago, that used to be the problem. America used to say to us, yeah, well, look, it is not our problem, it is your problem. You have to fix that. Now they are helping us in fixing that. And we offered to host a few persons. And let me just put this straight. The numbers that are being bandied about on social media is ridiculous. There's nothing like that.
Right.
It's not even remotely close to that.
Correct.
So don't get excited. These are persons who will be deported from the United States to other countries. They'll be using Jamaica as a transit point for them to connect to other countries. What are the benefits? Other than just strengthening the relationship with the United States. We are not paying the cost for these persons coming in. Yeah? We are not paying for transformation.
And they are not criminals necessarily.
No. Exactly. These are persons who probably have immigration status problem, who needs to go back to their place of place of origin. We are not paying the cost. We're not dealing with the logistics of it. In other words, and housing in terms of hotels or wherever they're held here in Jamaica. And bear in mind that whatever cost that is attached to that, whatever money is being spent to facilitate the logistics, the movement, the food, the accommodation of those individuals, that money will be spent in Jamaica.
Right.
Well,
So that's one of the direct benefits. Yes,
sure. Looking at it, because this is going to be something that's new to modern Jamaica. When I say modern Jamaica, I speak within the last 2 decades tops, right?
Yeah.
But with the leakage from the Gleaner having, misrepresented the facts that are there,
Yeah.
do you think it would have inhibited or slowed down the government's ability to study other agreements within the region and Latin America with similarities?
Yes, that's a very important one there, my brother, because there is a precedent, and one of the things that we can say is that usually when small developing states like Jamaica assist stronger countries like the United States, you tend to get the benefit coming back at you tenfold. And I tell you why. There are so many areas that we are going to, and I say this very guardedly, neighbor and listeners, because no concrete package has been discussed yet to say this is what we have agreed on.
But hold on. But Chops, as you develop, there are a number of countries that are doing this with the United States at this time, and the minister did cite some of them. Panama, I think Belize, quite a number of. Let me see if I can find that there.
St. Kitts have started from
Yes.
January.
Antigua, Barbuda, Paraguay, Costa Rica.
Persons already.
Yes.
Right. Go ahead.
You would not hear St. Kitts or Belize or Bahamas or Panama discuss what they have gotten from the United States for it, because the truth is what they're getting is not measurable. Yeah, it's not measurable. In other words, you're not able to measure it with the open eyes, because there are so many benefits to be derived, and those benefits, Harry, it's not something that the government is going to discuss. Jamaicans have to face a certain level of reality here. Negotiation at a certain level cannot be done in the public space, and that's just how it works. Now, just picture us by way of helping the United States to facilitate this whole policy, and they decide to assist us in intelligence gathering, to assist our crime fighting. Is this something that we're going to come to the Jamaican people and say to them, but by the way, Americans are helping us by way of intelligence, and we are now going to be putting 2 more boats on the south coast of Jamaica, and therefore the persons who are thinking about smuggling some, ammunitions from Haiti into Jamaica. Please don't do that anymore because there's going to be a boat on the South Coast provided by the United States. And I'm just saying that to say you cannot give your information out. And I guarantee you that some of the benefits to be derived from such an agreement with the United States is going to be stuff like intelligence gathering and sharing of intelligence, enhanced security technology, like giving us some of the stuff that they're using over there in the Middle East. They probably will be even training some of our immigration officers. We don't know. A lot of support for the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Army can be derived from these sort of arrangement. And that's why I say it's not going to be something that is measurable or even be discussed in the public space.
Yeah. You had a second point in terms of the benefits to Jamaica.
Yes, the diplomatic influence, Neighbour.
Yes.
Is perhaps one of the big ticket items that could come out of such an arrangement. Because when small states like Jamaica give assistance to major countries, major partners like the United States, it puts us in a very powerful position.
Yes.
Yeah. And what you want to have not just a good relationship with strong countries. You want to have extra strong relationships, diplomatic relationships with strong countries. And when you do that, you stand proud. I mean, look at what happened after Hurricane Melissa. The multilaterals, most of which are tied to the United States, they rallied around, did their assessment of Jamaica, and they provide a significant package for us to rebuild this country. Coming out of these sort of cooperation, there could be other benefits that will also aid the process of rebuilding after Hurricane Melissa. A lot of things can happen. I don't think anybody should view these decisions as negative to Jamaica, because everything that is supposed to be negative about it has been put to rest. It's not costing us any money. They're not hardened criminals who are being deported. They are not going to be in Jamaica for any prolonged period of time. It is approximately 20 or 25 persons every 2 weeks. And at no time there will be more than 10.
10, yes.
Or 10 or so in Jamaica.
Won't exceed 25.
Exactly. We're not expected to have any major influx of persons on the island who are part of this program. And people have to see it for what it is. We have to trust our government and trust the decisions that they make. It's one of the reasons why people voted for the Jamaica Labour Party in 2025 is because they have trust in the government. Yeah. And I don't think there's any reason to doubt them at this point.
Fantastic. Project in Jamaica has joined. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Neighbour. Good evening, Chops, Harry. Good evening.
Your comments projecting on this deportee matter. I think the real story here is that the Gleaner caused a firestorm by using the word deportee, and that sent a lot of people were very concerned. Do you think that people are now settled in their minds now that the government has responded? I understand that the Minister of National Security will be having will be at the post-cabinet press conference tomorrow. I'm sure additional clarity will be provided. But do you think that the story will now die down?
Good evening again, everybody, listeners. Neighbour, I think there's a greater and a deeper situation here. And I start here with the Gleaner.
Yes.
For about, and I want to make the case that this is just local politics, because by no means the Gleaner is attempting to have a discussion on geopolitics.
So it is not reporting any story here.
No. So for the better part of about 50 years, I remember as a young lad growing up, the only names in Jamaica that were mentioned among wealth, Matalan, Mafood, Azan. Nobody who grew up in Jamaica can never say them never hear. When them hear the name Azan, you think about Rich, Matalan, Mafood. For the past 10 years, the tables have turned. And it is regular Jamaicans who are becoming rich in our country.
Rich? Yeah, I wouldn't say rich.
Neighbor, I can only talk what I know, you know. You can say what you know. I know what I know. It is regular Jamaicans who are becoming rich in the country. And it is causing a discomfort among those who believe that the wealth should remain among the top 0.5 or the top 1% in our country, in our society. Now we have one such person running the Gleaner. Now the people of Jamaica made a decision on September 3rd, 2025, a decision that has not yet been accepted by that bunch of people who made deals with the devil, who had secret meetings deciding the next step in Jamaica's chapter, and thank God it didn't work the way they were planning. They were inching the future of many things on that election. And now we're seeing where after the election, all yard sale me see in a big company, me never know that possible. Man a sell table, chair, runner, tablecloth, all the bucket them down on North Street I sell. No, that is what is happening. Now, because of this situation, these people have vowed to not stopping until they find the perfect story to create uprising in Jamaica. There is no way any PNP member, a matter of fact, I am looking forward to the PNP coming out to speak on this, but there is no PNP who can speak on this from a foreign policy standpoint. Because foreign policy is not the PNP's best friend. They know nothing about foreign policy. The history of the PNP and how they have operated have shown that they know nothing about foreign policy. Foreign policy includes a few things that are visible that we see every day, plus more that are not visible that happens every day.
Yes.
No. There is no way the cooperation that Jamaica now enjoys with the United States that never before existed. Jamaica should run foul of that cooperation because the PNP believe that Jamaica should push up its chest and play bad chicken and get unalive in the game. You think the situation that exists now that caused Jamaica to be able to identify that one of the main gun runners to Jamaica was this youth from Buffalo, New York, I think it was in 2024, when FBI and US Marshals came down on his food truck and found that he had 125 guns running through the food truck, and that he was also shipping guns to Jamaica. I come from Maxfield in a portion of Angela Brownberg constituency. He is a comrade. I run the gun them to Maxfield. The latest indictment in a US court, where it is identified that 2 main Jamaican suspects are run guns plus the scamming, majority of the scamming where take place in a Jamaica. You know where the youth come from?
Well,
the youth is a PNP activist. Me not call him name. Now the reality is, you do not get these assistance just so. Foreign policy is a reciprocating kind of arrangement.
Yes.
And guess what? What I need is not what you need. You need something totally different from what we need, but we need what we need. So we need to come to the table, have an MOU, we have an agreement. You get what you get and me get what me get. wrong with that.
Well,
no. Jamaica will be used as a transit point, just as the other countries, over 30 odd countries, that are a part of the program. What is this program? This program is immigration removal from the United States. People who were found to have not met the criteria to be immigrants to the United States are being removed. Jamaica already have bilateral agreement with Canada, England, and the United States for criminals who have served their time to be deported back to Jamaica. That flight come every last Thursday, I think, every month. Plane land at Jamaica every month out of Norman Manley and let off deportees.
Yes.
Then they are taken to a central point, a place that I know, but I won't call it name, in Kingston, and then they are processed. Then they are connected to different programs that will help them to resettle in the Jamaican society, because some of them are 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Them out of the country. So there has to be a process of resettling. That program existed for decades. This is not that program. This program is America mass removal of people who have not met immigration standard to be in the United States. Now, in order to process them properly, you can't have all of them bungled up on the mainland. So America asks its allies to enter this agreement, which is a program that they need to have them out of the country while they finalize having them sorted out to resettle in their own country. What the hell is wrong with that? We have thousands of Jamaica go cross the border, go through bush fight with alligator and crocodile every year going into the United States. Many Jamaicans are currently in these 30 odd countries waiting to be resettled back into Jamaica. There are Jamaicans in some of these countries who have been removed by ICE from the United States.
And they are not in Jamaica yet.
They're not in Jamaica yet.
But they're on their way back here.
That is it. No. All of this is just a situation where the PMP have been trying to find a straw for hold on pan. But we know how that go, neighbor. Nobody can hold on pan straw. Because straw has no strength, it has no structural integrity if it hold no weight. I was thinking of waiting a little bit before I comment on this issue, because I know it's just another not one bag of nice, empty barrel kind of situation. And I wanted, because I was waiting because I'm expecting that some clarity would be brought to the situation tomorrow morning after at the post-cabinet press briefing. And then I was saying to myself, after the minister, whoever will be speaking tomorrow, then I say some things on it. And what are the next thing? Why I was thinking this? We cannot continue to allow ourselves to be sucked into a nonsensical kind of debate by the PMP. Because people like Perry and a lot of others who I know on the internet, we know them, enough of them are crooks. So when you hear them come out and accuse police and all them something, they do not like law and order. And any little thing, that's what they are told, that's the mission they were given by 89 Hollow Road. Any little thing where can cause the government some discomfort, jump on here and just throw you out there and talk whatever you want to feel like to talk. No. People who are listening here, neighbor, panelists, there is nothing in this for anybody to be alarmed about. It cannot be that for the first time in Jamaica's history, our national security is working, or it should have been working for the past 30, 40 years. And we think, with all this cooperation and assistance that the United States has given us, you think one way this whole thing go? You think this is a situation where a woman just love comfy, can dig out a man's pocket and he can't get nothing?
Oh.
It works both ways. And both ways it works. Anybody who are going to help you want something.
Yes.
And anybody you are going to help, you want something to. This is a negotiation happening. Nothing don't even sign off on it. What does negotiation mean? It means I put some points on the table of the things that I want out of this, and you put some points on the table because you are asking me to do this favor for you. And then at the end of it, when we would have got to the point where we can agree, you agree, say the same thing them when me ask for, you can't give me them, then me agree, say the help where you ask me for, me can't do it. It's a negotiation. And I drape somebody, go and drape up somebody and I say, yo, go over there, sir. If you don't go over there, you know what I got. No.
Yeah. There's a lack of understanding.
And we must respect.
Yeah.
We must respect.
Yeah.
We must respect the fact that in global politics, especially with your most powerful allies, there are going to be instances that not everybody are going to understand.
Yes.
And I must go to this point again, neighbor. And that is the reason why I've been making the point that when you have sensitive things like these, where I know in the interest of national security, these are things where them are talk about with other countries long time. Other people in other countries raise issues over some of these things. And it has been dealt with. We should have looked on them as something and learn and say, you know what? This is not something that we want to just go bust out and by the people of Jamaica. Hear them not understand it. Let us, in one of the press conferences gone months ago, say that currently we are in a negotiation to assist America with a group of people that they want to remove through ICE and then help them to resettle them in their country. The program surrounds this kind of situation. They will finance it. It has nothing to do with our budget. We do not have to develop a budget for this. They will finance it. We are just helping them to remove these people while they process them, to resettle them in their country. The numbers will be 25, and at no time will be more than 10 for every 2 weeks remain in the country. As we negotiate and get to certain satisfactory position, we will update the country. It will not hurt. And we need to start understand. These are things we talk about.
Well,
you go have something I introduced to the Jamaican people, it's going to bust out some way. Well, hello, neighbor. Anytime America is in a negotiation and when they make a decision, then put your power on website. I don't know where to hide. Something is always posted once America is doing something. We need to understand the world is no longer an exclusive social club that is locked away. It's a global community that is open. We need to start reading politics because the national politics affects the globe and the global politics affects our national situation.
I agree with you. Have to go to. I agree with you.
We need to be able to communicate these things and communicate them in a way that the Jamaican people can appreciate, not on nothing for freedom.
Fantastic. 22 minutes to 10 o'clock. We go with you until 10. Fourth term MP, good night. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey neighbor, where you?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, Mr. Vegas, your take on this this story.
I woke up this morning and I saw the article. So I went down to read the article.
Yes.
And listen to the PMP vloggers, and it was like manna from heaven that came down. But for the PMP vloggers and the surrogates. You see what the cleaner is doing is, as my virgin just said a while ago, is basically just putting out whatever it can do to rile up the people. You see? And to change the narrative and to the weather. The conference going on, and they had to find something. And notice the timing of everything that the cleaner is doing. Timing is everything. Everything that PMP is doing is about timing. It's about disruption. It's about distraction. It's about taking away from what's going on in the country. So just notice the pattern. From the Integrity Commission to the cleaner to whatever it is. Mark Holding. It's just the pattern. But my question to the people who are so outraged now that Jamaica is going to accept people from the US are people who are deportees. I think the comrades who are big on human rights and stuff like that, the condition that some of these people are living in, are been holding in these locked up. I think they would have seen this as a positive thing. I didn't know if they would have taken this approach in looking at it the way they're looking at it. I think the article states that it's a transit.
Yes.
For, a transit situation, and I think that still does not, change the narrative that they're trying to spread, because they just want to hold on to something where they can attack the government and distract from what's happening. Yeah. So just expect more of this. Gleaner, it dug and it found something, and it thought it had something great, and it had to walk back whatever it posted this morning. It basically wrote the article as if Jamaica was going to host the deportees here.
That's true.
They going to stay in Jamaica. And by midday or thereabout, they changed it to transit. And I was over Twitter and I posted the article this morning. And I picked up in the article where the Gleaner was contradicting itself in the writing. Because at one point it was speaking as if it wrote the article as if a deal was done. And when you read further, it said a negotiation is going to happen. It didn't even say a negotiation.
Yes. Yeah.
The negotiation is about to happen. So it's poorly written, and it's sad to see the Gleaner going out like this. It's really, really sad to see a national newspaper going out like this. And trust me, it may be working for the people who, I guess, on Twitter who call themselves educated class, because I realize nowadays if you name lawyer, or you have doctor behind your name, or you're from certain social group, I think you think that, oh, whatever the Gleaner says, it is gospel, and we are done if we rebuke it or if we counter it, and whatever Mark Golding and says it's brilliant and well spoken, and whenever we defend anything that this administration says, I would counter anything. It's you're it's above your pay grade, and that's what's going on. The Gleaner is leaning towards a certain class, and that class, the educated class, quote unquote educated class, is feeding the illiterate class of comrades who are running around the internet, and the illiterate class of comrades who are running around the internet, like Ingram and those people. When they feed it to the people who have no ways of understanding what's happening, then they run with just the narrative that's spread out. So, yeah, man, 10,000 deportees come to Jamaica, and we have already done here. So much people are dead for hungry. And when we send them criminal and come here for, if them are kill every criminal, them done already. And that circulate and that spread. And by the time the government get around,
yes,
put forward the correct information, family, the narrative don't
spread already. And that is the challenge. Hold on there, Mr. Vegas. I want to come back to you, but Chops Media wanted to make a comment on something Protecting said. Chops?
Yeah, man, I wanted to jump in. Greetings to you, Mr. Vegas. Greetings, Protecting, and everybody. Respect alive. I wanted to respond to what Protecting had said, because in his presentation, he said that the government really and truly needed to communicate stuff like this to the people before. And I know a lot of persons have the view that, yes, and I do share the view that communication is an issue, but old people is perhaps the best yardstick of measure in communication. Old people have a good old saying that says, not everything good for you, good for talk. Now, this particular matter that we're talking about is at the heart of foreign policy negotiation. And I'd like for anybody to explain to me at what level do you go to the Jamaican people and tell them that you're having a discussion with a foreign country about hosting in transit persons who are being deported from their country? At what stage do you tell it to the public? Because even as we speak,
it may not happen.
Has come out of the government.
It may not happen.
It may not happen. We don't know, right? The government itself, at this point, wasn't able to say to us definitively that there is an arrangement. So, at what stage should this have been communicated to the Jamaican people? Castle of my heart, from the castle of my heart.
Chopper, if I could respond to that, You see, if we believe that only done and dusted negotiation, you see, Jamaica, we can treat the leadership and the governance of Jamaica as a business in to certain extent where we take it seriously and we have to run the economy properly. But we have to remember that democracy requires the understanding and the appreciation of the people to work. So I don't need to come, I don't need to inform you if I'm leading you as a team that I have an agreement with somebody. I run a business. Whenever there is something that I'll be introducing or there's a consideration I discuss with my staff that listen me, these are the considerations I have now. I'll be entering some discussions in regards to this. I'm just giving you a heads up. If this comes through out of the negotiation, if things work the way I'm thinking that I want them to work, then in a matter of a few months, we might have this situation. If it doesn't work, then this will be the outcome. But I will update you as we go along. But just to let you know that I am currently having discussions. The discussions don't reach nowhere far yet, but I will update you. What that says, I respect my people, or the people I lead, but what it also says is, no Nicodemus business. Because you see, again, democracy is very technical to run, it's very technical to operate, because democracy is not just a group of people in a jacket and tie making decisions.
But protecting. Have you considered protecting the capacity of Jamaicans to receive information that they are not even ready to receive?
Let me respond to you by asking.
The very people that we want to give the information to are the very people who could mess up the process of negotiation just by how they respond.
Let me respond to you by asking you this question. Since the story broke today, what has been happening? You see,
it has been really messy. I must call
it has been a firestorm.
Yes, it has been, but protected. It has the firestorm is because of the misleading word, the poor tea. That is what it's called.
Neighbor, and again, I have been on your platform for months. If you left the space for somebody else leading narrative, hello, you don't have to come. If it's a national security issue, or it might be a national security issue, potentially, you don't need to come discuss details. You don't need to come tell me that you're going to run down 10 man round this.
With all due respect.
Hold on, chopper. Let me land the last part of the point here. The same thing that we are saying that might have been the consideration of the government to prevent is the same thing by not doing anything at all or saying anything at all. It's even worse. It's even worse today.
But protecting.
Yes, Mr.
6-1 half does not.
Yeah.
If the government had come forward and said, we got an MOU from the United States, right? We got a memo from the United States that they would like us to transit some deportees through our borders, and they come out and tell the people they're gonna take it the same way them take it now. They're not gonna take it. The only difference with that something here is a Glean and worded it away where 10,000 people, 10,000 deportees come to Jamaica, come land. That is it. So what I'm saying, let me just finish, bro. What I'm saying is, bro, this is not anything that is new to what's going on since this whole Donald Trump presidency, brother, our administration, took over America. This has been happening, this is not. I don't even know why this is a big thing. Because this circulated, the same argument that circulated already. St. Kitts, Antigua, other territories, them get the same MOU, brother. You understand me I say? So the whole idea why this is dominating the news or the space. It's because the cleaner said 10,000 deportees come to Jamaica, brother. Just call it what it is, bro.
Agreed.
All right. So
Hold on, protected. Let Chops come in. Yeah.
Neighbor, remember respond to Mr. Vegas before Chops come in. And that's a very point I'm making. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other, and I agree. But again, when you leave the space, because again, there's nothing that America does where them not post up on them please. Anyway, Homeland Security, something I go post. Okay? No, look at it. I am the minister. And this discussion is happening backdoor. I don't need to go and tell nobody go no deportee. So you left the space open so clean and say what you feel to say. I am the minister. I walk in a post-cabinet press briefing, whether it was planned or not, and I said, well, there's a situation that we have seen happening in other countries where there have been negotiations in regards to the resettling of people removed on immigration matters from the United States. These countries are being used as transit countries while they've sought out documentation and these countries to receive their nationals make preparation. We're having discussions in that regard as America is one of our biggest ally, and they have approached us and asked us to help.
But Jay, you're missing the point. Well, you're missing the point. The man not even have any form of document or any form of agreement or any form.
That's what I'm saying. I am in negotiation. I'm in discussion.
Well, now listen, I say. The people them send a memo. The government is responding to the memo, brother. When you want to go and come do prematurely talk about something when that they materialize it, brother.
Neighbor.
Hold on, protected. Hold on. Reuters have published the story. Chops Media.
Neighbor.
I just got a note from that Reuters have published the story, but Reuters have quoted the cleaner. So why it is that the American news would not have picked this up already?
Okay, come on, man. We have to understand all these geopolitics.
Slow down, protected. Because you are going off on a limb, and had it not been because you are a labor right who I love and respect, if you were a neutral person or a comrade, I would have said to you that you're speaking garbage.
Oh.
But I'm not going to say that to you.
Well, Chops Media, I want you to respond to this though.
Yes.
The United States press. Why is it that before now it would not be made public there?
Because it is not important.
Oh.
But that's one. Two, the cleaner is 100 and how much years old? Probably 140 years old. The cleaner is a staple in the media field globally.
Yes.
Reuters have the cleaner as their anchor in Jamaica. So whenever there's a story that has international connotations to it, of course cleaner is going to be a source. So nothing is wrong with that. The argument I'm putting to protective that he's saying, which is just totally incorrect, when he says that the United States publish everything. You don't know not even 1/3 of what the United States discuss as it relates to their foreign policy. Right? You don't know that, I don't know that. America give you what they want you to know. Okay? Secondly, and we must appreciate that no country at all handles their foreign policy negotiation in the public space. And what they're asking the Jamaican government to do is to come out here and tell you what they are discussing. That means every other discussion and negotiation that we have going on now, currently, that we should come and publish it in the public space. It is nonsense. It is nonsense to even think that way. And I notice, protecting, that you have a natural inclination of pivoting, no matter how the situation is. You always pivot back to the party should, the government should. Well, let me tell you this, man. Foreign policy is not public consumption. You negotiate it behind closed door and you release to the public what is appropriate for the public. Old people tell you everything good feet, good for talk. These are not discussions that need to be had in the public space, and you must respect the government and the foreign ministry. for handling sensitive matters in a professional way. It's nonsense to tell people about America publish everything, so we should have published it. Tell me at what stage of this particular negotiation that we're talking about now. Tell me what stage of it that the government should have come out and tell the Jamaican people. We're not even on stage 0 yet.
There's nothing to tell.
Exactly. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about, sir?
Let me clarify something, because you misquoted me just now. I did not tell you that the government need to come out and publish something. I did not tell you that. So, I mean, when I speak, I try to speak as clear as possible, you know. I try to speak as clear as possible. I am saying that this, okay, it's a sensitive matter. We're here discussing it tonight. Why? Why? The other countries, this is something I pay close attention to, you know. The other countries.
Because it was leaked, my brother. It was illegal.
Okay, so it was leaked. So it was leaked.
The government respond to the leak.
So it was leaked. Yes. With the other countries that had issues nationally to when this came about. But guess what? If you do your research, you will see that there are also countries. There are also countries that had their leaders have had discussions about a discussion happening. You don't need to say you have an agreement.
Man, you're talking garbage. If you expect that the Jamaican government must come out and tell the Jamaican people about every single negotiation that they're undertaking, you are talking rubbish.
Who said every single negotiation?
It is rubbish. And you better than that. You are better than that,
Chaps.
Protected.
Let me ask you something, Chaps.
Stop it, man.
Let me ask you something, Chaps. Isn't this a sensitive issue nationally?
It should not be discussed with the Jamaican people until it is finalized. Argument done.
May I ask you a question?
Protect him. Let me ask you something. So can you find me anywhere where Costa Rica, Belize, Panama, Antigua, Dominica, Paraguay, and those countries? Can you find me anything where they published before they materialized?
And you keep talking about publish.
No.
Why are you? Hold on, Chaps, you ask me a question. Why do you continue to use the word publish?
Then if we go and talk about it in the publishment.
Again, the discussion before any agreement.
Once they discuss it,
many of
the
these
public is published.
But Vegas, the discussion about whatever is being asked of a country by the US government to assist them with, the discussion starts even before there's an agreement.
Let me ask a simple question. If the US government is working with the Jamaican government on some form of criminal matter, should the Jamaican government come out and tell the public that we're working with the US?
Vegas.
Vegas asking that. No, hold on.
You want Chaps? Hold on, man. Now become a lower defense a little bit tonight. You and Chaps nobody jump over it. Come in no kind of defense.
What do you mean?
No.
Nonsense. Oh, you come out and discuss national security.
National security is better.
Oh, you come out and discuss national security. Who don't jump over it?
National security? Who's going to do this for
defense, brother?
In whose
All right, guys. No. All right. One at a time. One at a time.
Hold on.
Jump over the fence, brother.
Protecting and jobs. Hold on.
Let Neighbour Harry come in.
Because I've been listening and I'm not in support of this back and forth thing. This is unproductive part of a conversation that matter, right? When you look at it, and I see some person speaking in the chat and so on, one, this negotiation is not just regarding US and Jamaican territories. It takes into consideration the likes of international organization and of migration, rules and regulations, which also is a part of that discussion, right? So this is an international thing. There's also time you need to study other regional countries. St. Kitts signed theirs in January after a lengthy discussion. They didn't put it to their public, right? They've just gotten to the part where they're able to intake a few members under certain descriptions and certain criteria. One of the major ones, that person cannot be a criminal of any sort, right? So when you look at it, and everything about that person has to be provided, their biography, the medical reports, all of that, and these things takes time. Jamaica is not even at that stage in this negotiation, right? We are ensuring that we review all laws and regulations, keeping in line with human rights and the International Organization for Migration, IOM. We have to also put it back in the US space. This is not something at this time in Jamaica's development that should be speaking of. The only reason we're even here tonight speaking about this is because the Gleaner has done grave injustice to Jamaica and Jamaicans on a whole by misleading them. Now, you don't speak of negotiation, you don't preempt negotiations before negotiations. That doesn't happen. Doesn't. Right? The next part of it is that you, when you're coming to the people, especially a critical time like this, when you realize that we still are trying to build back after Melissa, that is most important thing. This negotiation thing regarding 10 people and 25 people over a period of time is not priority. It is not nation building. And I'm a little bit disgusted based on what is happening with the back and forth, because I think we are competent enough and have the capacity and the capability to understand that this is not where it should be going, right? The only reason, I'm going to double down on it, the only reason this is even something being spoken of is because Politics Plus Network has an understanding. We have a national duty to the people of Jamaica, locally and abroad, to give them the facts. And we're here to clear it up tonight. And I think we're getting a little muddy between we're majoring in the minor, right? We're here tonight because the Gleaner has blundered and blundered big. That is the real reason. This is not because this is national priority. It really isn't. Because these negotiations will continue to go on.
Yes.
And you cannot come to a nation like Jamaica with preempting things, with things that are not facts, you don't have anything concrete. There's nothing in this where the only thing US has agreed on, and they've done this right across the board, is that we will stand the cost. And that is a given. They've done it with 10 kids. They've done it in Costa Rica. And for persons who are asking why not keep them in the US, they cannot keep them there based on their jurisdictions and the laws that are there. So what they tend to do is find countries that are closest to the destination countries. Currently, St. Kitts and I believe Dominica have one Jamaica each to come back to Jamaica. They aren't in Jamaica and they aren't in the US, but they're close enough to what we can call quote unquote home. This isn't something that's new, and it's going to continue forever. For people asking about, staying in the US, this is also about cost. It is cheaper for them to be in these countries as well, if we're being real, right? And you want to keep these people in areas, because US can't really house them in what we call proper humane conditions based on the volume and the population of these people. And that is why I mentioned the International Organization of Migration, because if the US hold these people longer than they ought to, they can be called in front of World Court. And this is just another geopolitical and allies agreement thing. This is, again, it is not new. And I just don't like what we're doing with the conversation, because I don't think many persons for a few minutes now is getting the quality and the standard that we uphold. The truth about the matter is that this was never something the government needed to come to Jamaicans about. Not yet. Not when we're still trying to handle the Melissa issue. Not when we're still trying to finalize projects for NARA. There's so many other important things, and the only single factor and reason why we're here tonight is because the Gleaner has shown us again that they don't know journalism, and they have an agenda, and we are here to put that to bed. It is really not anything else. I did an entire study within the last few hours between Dominica and St. Kitts on this, and at no point in time they have done this. So what we're asking of Jamaica, the government of Jamaica, is doing the impossible. And if the administration come to the country prematurely about one negotiation, then there's nothing to stop us to say this is the precedent and it should be done for every single negotiation. And that cannot be done. These things are still sensitive matters. Jamaicans can't necessarily have a good conversation about geopolitical issues. Hell, we can't even have a decent conversation about economics, and that's our day-to-day living. So we're going to have a trouble when it comes on to that. So the government was well within their right to not be bringing this because there's nothing there. It's not the paper was put down to speak about.
Yeah.
Harry, my brother, may I just commend you because you've nailed it. But there are 4 persons on the panel here. Myself, Protecting, and Mr. Vegas. Caroline is here as well. 2 persons have taken a position that the government cannot and should not, and there's no precedent to suggest that government usually negotiate in public. Protecting Jamaica has taken an opposite view that he believes that the government should have come out ahead of the story and manage it. No, I understand that position in principle, but it does not apply across the board, and certainly it does not apply to this particular conversation about foreign policy and negotiation. So we sometimes, when we address these issues, we have to just narrow it down. Protecting is wrong on his argument about what the government needed to do, right? What has happened is that the government today, the foreign ministry in particular, hosts an excellent diaspora conference in Montego Bay. Excellent. And perhaps, Harry, you said that the government, the cleaner, don't have an agenda. Yes, they do. They have an agenda. And the agenda is a political agenda.
No, man, I said they do have an agenda.
Right. Well, it's a political one, Harry. And what they did today was to attempt to remove the shine of what took place in Montego Bay in terms of the diaspora conference. Hopefully there will be a post-cabinet press briefing tomorrow, and I'm hopeful that the concerns, and Neighbour mentioned it earlier in his preamble, and I think Neighbour is favoring not just a press release, but also a press conference. And I have lobbied for that for a long while because I believe that there must be a multifaceted approach to how we communicate. Communication should not just be press conference alone, neither should it be press releases. So I believe that there should be a multifaceted approach, and hopefully tomorrow there'll be a press conference with a post-cabinet press briefing, and then from that there'll be some clarity, and then there could be some follow-up in terms of releases coming from G2K, from Young Jamaica, and all the other affiliates.
And so therefore, Chap, the more we understand this issue, the more, even in my mind, I realize that there really is no story here.
There's none. Honestly, Neighbour, there is really none, except for the cleaner.
A few people passing through Jamaica on their way to the yard. It's like you have container. I was saying earlier, that a lot of cars coming to Jamaica don't belong to Jamaicans, and a lot of containers. And the containers, they're on their way to somewhere else.
And Neighbour, if we are to stay true to what we are intended to become, a logistics hub. A logistics hub does not mean only containers.
But I want to be fair. I want to be fair though to protect it, because I don't think he is arguing for negotiation to be done in public. I don't think that's what he's saying.
Well, he probably need to clarify.
No, I don't think that's what he's saying. What I think he is saying in a general context is that a preemptive notification would have helped. That's what I hear him saying. Brother Protecting.
Tell me how. In this, but I understand the overarching concept of preempting. I understand and appreciate it. But let us narrow it down to this particular incident. How could the government preempt this? There's nothing there to preempt. What was the government going to say? A matter of fact, the government had enough time to put together a proper, well-documented press release.
Today.
And the truth is, neighbor, today. And the truth is that press release is much to do about nothing. There's nothing in there.
There's nothing in there. That's true.
But neighbor,
Yes.
but neighbor, in the same Gleaner's report, right?
Yeah.
If you read it, some language in it, some parts in that, the government of the United States of America intends to propose to the government of Jamaica to transfer up to 25 individuals every 2 weeks. Intends. Where come up to the Jamaican public say, oh, America intends to?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you finalize or make it materialize before you come to the
I think Harry is very, very correct when he said the real unfortunate thing here is that Jamaica exploded on the word deportee. That's what caused the explosion today. And rightly so. Rightly so. If you look at your national newspaper and you see deportee, culturally, we know what deportees mean. And then you see 10,000. Immediately your brain begins to think, what on God's earth is going to be happening here? And I think that is unfortunate from the Gleaner today. And that really is the story. Anything else?
What happens now? What happens in a neighbor?
By the way, you know that all the surrogates were out today in full force.
Yeah, man, and all the affiliate outlets.
Yes.
But if you notice, the Gleaner has a Instagram page and a Facebook page, and when they put up that headline, without people going and looking into the body of the article, then you would have come away, or may have come away with the wrong impression.
Deporting deal.
It's a Kingston and Washington are expected to begin talks on an agreement first pitched by a senior Jamaican government official.
You mean a government official proposed it to the United States?
Yes, and that is where look here. A lot of the
in the same article, when they go read it now, Chopper, it says the US government intend to.
Listen, what the phone calls I got today, at least 4 phone calls, were to say which government official brought this idea to the United States and what is it that they're going to, how they benefit from it.
It went to say, by a senior Jamaica government official that could see the island accepting up to 10,000 non-Jamaicans being deported from the United States. No, Mark, in a neighbor. This is not the first island the US approached about this situation as a general just a while ago.
Uh-huh.
And I want to make protecting more say. No, we just a back and forth because I'm sure that we can't agree this all the time, and we don't want to sound like like echo. You see me I say so. You have respect your position because I'm sure so many Jamaicans may have the same with the same position where you hold. What I'm saying is
thick skin, man. I'm good.
Well, when I came on tonight, I can tell you my listeners over here were asking me questions. What is happening? What is Jamaica doing? And after I broke it down and let them understand, I think that they have calmed down and realized that, well, what is this? People are getting it now.
Neighbor,
Uh-huh.
you know what I commend the government for, and it is a continuation as to what they did, and I'm going to equate it to the study that created NARA. Remember, we studied 3 of the world's largest and most devastated natural disasters to create NARA, right? In this deal, the government has studied almost all the Latin America and CARICOM countries' agreement before even putting a counter offer to the US.
Oh.
That shows that the government, because they said lessons were taken from similar agreements entered into countries including Belize, Costa Rica, Panama, Paraguay, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, and St. Kitts, who is the newest one on the block.
Yes.
Because I said they started theirs in January and they're just getting their first set of people, right? And they were explicit on each and every one of these agreements, while similar, had to be tailored based on the rules, regulations, and laws of those land. And Jamaica's, the administration has taken it even further. They brought into the sphere the IOM, which is the highest level you can go when it comes down to human rights and migrationary movement, neighbor.
Yes.
So they're ensuring that before they do anything, before it even reach implementation stage, they want to put it to the US to say, listen, we've seen everything that you've done. This is what we want. This is what has to be done from our end. We understand you want to cover the cost. That's fine with us. It's a least. But we want to ensure that the humanity of these people does not do two things. Does not breach the laws of our land, right? Does not infringe on the capacity and the security of our people. And the third one I can throw in there, neighbor, is that you also ensure that these people are moved with dignity. So this is not just a Jamaican US thing. The very people also have rights, and we want to ensure that we don't infringe on those and they don't infringe on it. These things takes time, and we have not put that forward. We're still in the infancy stage of this agreement. So again, the government can't come say anything to people.
But Harry,
it will be premature.
But to pick up and that I don't want to try. Just you saying that now, you know, I'm kind of settled now, and I wanted to get back to that point there where you just brought it up in a sense. If Jamaica is transiting deportees who are being held in certain conditions, because we've heard of the conditions in the US that some of these people are being held in, right? And Jamaica is working with the United States government to get them out of that condition and become a transit or a hub where they can transit to their destination. But on a humanitarian level, why the PMP was you know, government that is so big on humanitarian crisis, why would they react like this though? Wouldn't they see this as a positive thing? Or what am I missing?
They don't, because remember, the PMP is the same political party that agrees with the Cubans staying in Jamaica under the same contractual agreement. So they are farcical in anything that they put forward. And Chops mentioned it earlier. The People's National Party does not understand geopolitical issues and foreign affairs. They've spoken 2 times on issues in modern time Jamaica, and I mentioned that last 20 years. And if they were the party in power, Jamaica would be doomed from a foreign policy standpoint, right? And I want to say, neighbor, I mentioned it, we can't even have a decent conversation in terms of with Jamaicans overall, because they don't understand these things to a great extent. And if you look in the comment section, I see people say, well, why not send others go Europe? Why would you want to send somebody who is destined, for example, to Jamaica and send him go to Europe? It doesn't make financial sense, and also doesn't make sense for the very individual. You would be infringing on the very existence of that person. And it shows the thinking of these people. And again, it's sad that the cleaner is here for profits and trying to spin these things and give the PNP something to talk about, and also to distract Jamaicans from the real matter at hand. Right? That is the problem.
But Harry, part of what we also will have to acknowledge is that the society has a proclivity towards these type of rumors and innuendos and misinformation. We do.
Yes, neighbor. But the thing about it, is that the more things change, the more certain things remain the same. And it's not for the lack of not trying. I think a lot of Jamaicans have accepted, things that have become a part of them, the norm. And it's going to take a while for a new norm to be formed. They say, COVID came in and it pushed a new norm very quickly because we had no choice but to adapt. Jamaica is one of the freest country in this on Mother Earth, neighbor, and I think that is also one of our major problems. We have too much choices. We can do as we feel like. But you see, the moment we do go elsewhere, we conform. Well, we can't conform to try and develop our very own choices. We can do.
Sorry about that.
That is the critical point here, because very few people have stopped to think about the issue to say what really has happened. Probably if we didn't have a platform and come on tonight and Mr. Vegas and Chops and others remove us from the fray, I can guarantee you the People's National Party would just be running with the emotions, acting on the emotions. Because, neighbor, I tell you, I was late for this program. I even late to come home to come eat me dinner before the program because I had to ensure that somebody who I thought had the level of intelligence and education to understand this. I had to stop and take 15 to 20 minutes out of my time to explain it.
Have a report here from
emotions.
Yeah, from Nationwide. Let's listen to how they reported this today.
We are small and we can reject, or we have conditions for acceptance. We can reject any applicant we don't think is suitable to come to the country, and it's an MOU. We can discontinue with almost immediate effect either side. Either state may stop or we may stop, and that's what we have now. So that understanding, most of these people are transitioning because they will go back to their own country, and the cost for that is borne by the United States government. We work closely with the international organizations like us. So that's a kind of Jamaica jump because we do something for the thing. It's international negotiating, and we work on it. We like a lot of other issues, we negotiate directly as partners.
Minister Chan says any participant under the program who wants to settle in Jamaica will have to complete the formal asylum application process.
No, absolutely not. They are transitioning open.
Yes?
The deal done now, Neighbour?
Not deal, I'm trying to bring...
Yeah, but may I ask you if the deal done, because Dr. Chan talk about the same thing where deal not done, but he might tell the citizen who are going. I wonder what different I said earlier.
Okay, all right. Let's see if we can. National Security Minister Dr. Howard Stang says the deal with the United States to host third country nationals is a strictly voluntary agreement. He says all costs associated with the program will be borne by Washington. Minister Chang says any participant under the program who wants to settle in Jamaica will have to complete the formal asylum application process. Here is Dr. Chang.
But their own country. If any decide to stay, they and apply for asylum under any international regulation, then we'll have to deal with that in the normal way that we do it under international law. Thank you. If the numbers get too high, then we stop the program. And it is the MOU gives each partner the right to discontinue the program in time. That it gives both us and the United States the right to discontinue the program in time.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
So,
they are transitioning out.
There you have it.
And that was a response to questions asked directly, Neighbour. So it was even a volunteering of the information. So we also have to take that into consideration. Because had it not been leaked, we wouldn't have certain questions at all. And probably these questions may be prematurely beforehand. And they would have been sorted out before.
Thank you. There is a Caroline Angela 208. Hello.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear. Hi.
Hi, good night. I just joined your programming, and I'm just curious as to the housing. Where are they planning to house these people if they decide to take them into Jamaica?
First of all, ma'am. Did you read the minister's response?
No, I didn't read the response. I'm asking a question.
Wait.
I'm asking you
I
who
would
might have read it.
Yes, I would encourage you, ma'am, to read it, because if you read it, you would realize that the question, 10 people would be the maximum, just 10 at a time. So there would be, at no point, there would be more than 10 people in the Jamaica.
I can tell you now, Neighbour, it will be JDF.
I don't know, but 10 people.
Let me clarify, Neighbour. Under the other agreements, right? Those countries don't disclose where they hold these people.
Oh, well.
Under the agreement.
Then how protecting says? Well, I don't know.
Protecting suggesting. Thank you for that, Harry. So I've studied 3 of them, Neighbour, right? So I took time out of the day during work to go through quite a number of them. Because of the sensitivity of this, I don't even want to call it trick, because that's even a wrong word, but of this transit route that's happening, those countries do not let you know. It's not like the agreement with El Salvador where US is paying El Salvador to keep hardened criminals. It's not like that. So they try to keep the identity for these people from.
In other words, they could be here. They could be here, and we don't even know they're here.
You don't know.
That is also a false narrative that that it's hardened criminals are being sent to these other countries. You guys see a Jamaican already sent off
Did you listen to what I just said? Did you listen to what I just said?
You just said that it's not like El Salvador where they're being paid to hold hardened criminals.
Do you know about the El Salvador deal?
We don't, but you just stated that. You brought that up. You put that in the conversation.
Hold on. Because this is the problem I have in a neighbor. I gave the comparison of two programs to show you that the third party route that is happening is not like what has been done with El Salvador. That's a comparison, ma'am. Right?
We don't know what has been done by the U.S. government.
Listen to ma'am, please. Just listen.
Are you going to listen to just respond, or are you going to listen to understand? Because I can't stop right now.
Go ahead, because what I'm trying to say to you is that you're putting out information that the U.S. propaganda machine put out. And it is not right. It's misleading because you know that we have had a Jamaican citizen sent to Africa. All he did was overstay. He was no hardened criminal. So a lot of people being deported into other systems are not criminals.
But madam, did they label him as a hardened criminal?
This is what they.
No, I'm asking you. Did
Yes,
they label that
everybody that is being sent to these places are labeled as such.
Now, I ask you again, do you know about the agreement that is struck between both the U.S. and El Salvador government? Yes or no?
Yes, I know about the agreement. And I know that a court struck down a bunch of things that they've been doing.
Listen. The El Salvador president is somebody who I hold in high regards, and so does his people higher than anywhere else in the rest of the world. He has the highest approval globally, right? And that man has struck a deal that is beneficial financially to his country that helps also the U.S. Their state, those prisons at El Salvador, is for hardened criminals, for top 10 gang members in the world. That's what El Salvador was facing, and they built those for those people, not for misdemeanors and so on. The agreement was explicit between both of those nations. And I use that as an example to say, listen, these people that are coming within the CARICOM, between the St. Kitts and US deal, the Antigua and Barbuda and so on, these are persons who aren't criminals. They just don't meet the immigration criteria for the US. And there are certain information that has to be provided. I just quoted, if you were listening earlier on the program, St. Kitts and Nevis president ensured that they got all the necessary information. And the Jamaican government has also stated it, that they've studied the terms and agreements of about 10 to 11 different countries within Latin and Caribbean, right? Latin America and CARICOM, before they even do anything regarding this deal. So do you understand now?
You know, maybe I'm on the wrong.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, I still.
No, ma'am, you're not on the wrong. You're not on the wrong program. No, ma'am. Hold on. You're not on the wrong. Hold on, ma'am. Hold on, ma'am. You're not on the
You
wrong.
asked me a question and you don't want me to answer.
No, but you are saying that you're on the wrong program, and I'm trying to get you to understand that you're not. You're not on the wrong program. We are going to hold on. I just want you to understand, because when you came here, you asked about where the people are going to stay. And I asked you if you read the press release. Now, the press release said that the U.S. proposed states that 25 individuals would be transferred under the agreement every 2 weeks. But Chang said that while the understanding contemplates such transfer, this is subject to an important operational safeguard, where the number of individuals pending transfer or remaining in Jamaica exceed a threshold of 10 persons, the process will be paused until conditions are reviewed and normalized. This is to ensure that there are no more than 10 remaining in Jamaica within any 30-day period, he said, confirming the Gleaner report. In other words, ma'am, 10 people, no hard to put up.
10 people not hard to put up, may I agree with you, but you already have overcrowding in your current system that is
What
not being
system? No,
addressed.
no, hold on.
In
What
your
system?
prison system in
But they're not
Jamaica,
going to go into
there's a
prison.
gross
Who said they were going into
overcrowding.
But who said
And
they're
you
going into
guys
prison,
don't-
ma'am?
What?
Why would they be going into prison?
Well, why are they not addressing that? Address that, the local problems they have. Address that.
Okay, so do you care, ma'am, to participate in a discussion that is factual, or do you want to spread a narrative?
Are they addressing the overcrowding in the prison system in Jamaica?
Are you here to participate in this which is providing facts, or you are here to spread a narrative?
Or let me just say this.
No, you don't know it. Hold on, mute her for me.
Jamaican people have too much choices. I thought Jamaica was.
You know, ma'am, you are saying a lot of things and you're not listening, because I think probably you want to get your audience or our audience to hear something that you want to say. You want the 700 and not people watching you to hear something that you want them to say. No, we're not going to allow that. I'm trying to get you to understand what is happening because I can't go beyond what the minister says, you know, ma'am. I don't deal with propaganda and foolishness. I am going to read from this press statement because I trust the government. And I don't think the government can afford to mislead the people of Jamaica. I don't think they can afford it. Yeah, go ahead.
Even what she was alluding to, Neighbour, about the gentleman who was sent to East Swatini. The man was convicted for second degree murder in the US, spent 25 years in prison, and she said he was not a hardened criminal.
Oh yes, there is a gentleman there. You know anything about him?
That's the man that shot somebody 3 times in Brooklyn and spent 25 years in prison. They deported him to Africa, and he voluntarily, told him that he wanted to come home back to Jamaica. So the argument or the idea that she was attacking Harry about what he was saying about El Salvador is ridiculous. That she used a hard criminal to justify her point. But maybe Harry, a hard criminal is not somebody that spent 25 years in prison for shooting a man in the head. Maybe you can correct me still.
But you said the thing about that, Vegas, and this is the problem why I said, I know what I said earlier, that this is not a conversations that average Jamaican can have. That is a problem, you know. Because
then they start go back to the abuse of emotion, them start
Harry and Vegas and others, you recognize that if you had gone out there and it doesn't matter what you put on paper or what you put on just think about it, man. If we are having a conversation here,
I'm plan to take the deportee
right,
and we have some people in prison already, and the prison overcrowded.
If we having a conversation with so much clarity and it still carries so much cloud, can you imagine?
Ladies,
it's shocking.
The lack
of them full. Yeah, you can imagine.
What are we doing about our prisoners here? So they already make up their mind, say they deported them and come and they go to prison.
It almost is like whatever the minister said today.
I want to chastise about something, Harry. Because you said the cleaner blonde. Let me tell you something, man. The cleaner is one of the most clever outlet in Jamaica right now, me I tell you, man. The cleaner know how to turn Jamaica upside down, my brother. Me say the cleaner is boss. Remember, me say, listen, man. Me say me I pass through some vlogger this morning. Me say I do my workout and I listen to the vlogger them, man. And me say when the cleaner chop is it, man, a manner.
Yes.
Me say, listen, man. When I man, the accountant, when the accountant get the breaking news, the man say, what you say to me? What you say to me? Holy God, and the man start praying.
Holy God. Yeah. I've never seen Perry so excited. I thought he was getting married. Man turn on him YouTube same time.
Me say if this is remotely custom neighbor, me say right now Jamaica the streets them black.
I tell you the
This
smoke.
almost feels illegal to know.
Smoking gun.
If this is remotely goes up.
Yeah.
Me say the man them, me say are the most excited me see comrade in a long time. But listen to me you know. Me means you have some scholar over Twitter, you know. Over there you want go, you know.
Yes.
Over Twitter you want go, you know, because the liars them over Twitter, you know. Me not talk people when I go to school, you know. Me attack liars over Twitter, you know. Brush it 2 string when they get caught that traffic or something. Me say the man they full up over Twitter, you know, because over Twitter the bright people them there, you know, because you have to write for them on Twitter, you know, and I like you don't put on your phone, you have to write. Remember me tell them man, over there them there. So neighbor, big up yourself here, man.
Take care of yourself. Okay. Bye-bye.
Large up yourself, my brother.
I'm a general. Chops, look more, Harry, look more.
Alright, sorry.
Look for some Caroline.
All right, guys, let's head on down to 11 o'clock. Start out with you, protecting. I hope that things were cleared up.
No, neighbor. Me still. You played Dr. Chang a while ago, and I wonder if the deal signed this evening, because the same thing I'm saying is the same thing Dr. Chang talk about. So if you talk about it now and the deal not signed yet, as somebody said, deal's supposed to reach first. You see, we run the risk of thinking that democracy can only work among the few academics. There's a party in Jamaica now that started out that way. I remember that party only one time they able to get must 6 lawyers for run election back in the day. Because they believe that democracy only functions among academics. And the academic, them now go join a line to support democracy. Democracy is the people. Right now there are considerations in countries all over the world. Should we just practice full democracy and have home government? What is there? The same thing that Tachang just say when you play a little while, you can play it again. And the same thing me I say. Him not reveal no detail. Him not show the country in a chaos. Him not show the country in a constitutional situation. It's the same thing me I say all along. But maybe when me say it, it come off a certain way. So play Dr. Chang again, make him say what me I say now.
Well, let's okay. So National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the deal with the United States to host third country nationals is a strictly voluntary arrangement. He says all costs associated with the program will be borne by Washington. Okay, so that is what Chang said. The tape would need to be backed up a little bit more for me to get there. Harry, you could just pick up in the meantime while I search for it.
Yes, neighbor. Well, protecting, I can tell you, yes, it's just like how that lady come up a while ago and mentioned some things that she admit to not reading anything. She admit to asking an ill-informed question, because these are educated questions, put it that way, right? That is what we run the risk with when we do certain things prematurely, because it wouldn't be surprising to me one of the surrogates from the People's National Party will say the deal is like the Eswatini deal, where they're actually being paid to have those persons, not like what is happening now. So I'm looking out for that. But when we look at the response...
Sorry, Harry. I don't know. I'm just getting breaking news that Jamaica is playing Argentina. Jamaica 3, Argentina 0. Can you confirm?
No, neighbor. Never that.
That's part of the propaganda. That's how propaganda works. Get back to serious matters. You hear something? Let's see if we can come up with Dr. Chan here.
Remember, we are small and we can reject, or we have ambition for acceptance. We can reject many applicants we don't think it's suitable to come to the country, and it's an MOU we can discontinue without much immediate effect either side. We can stay for stop or we will stop. And that's what we have now. So that understanding, most of these people are transitioning because they will go back to their own country, and the cost for that is borne by the United States government. We work closely with international organizations like us. So that's a kind of Jamaica government to do something for the thing. It's international negotiating, and we work on it. We, like a lot of other issues, we negotiate directly as partners.
Okay.
Remember, we are small and we can reject, or we have.
There you go, Dr. Chan. But Harry, you see how the propaganda can spread. And you know, there are some Jamaicans who would believe that. that Jamaica is at the World Cup and scored 3 goals at Argentina 0 tonight. I bet you said Jamaicans believe that.
Neighbor, I want to know who is on that score sheet. If Baby Gardner didn't score any goal, or Walter Boy.
Top scoring. maybe Maradona.
Can I tell you,
tell him maybe he's scoring for Jamaica too. Boy, it's really a problem in Jamaica, and it's something that I think we ought to discuss too, Harry, because
But neighbor, just to complete the point I was making. You see, I understand the propensity to think that we are really protecting something or someone when we shield certain information from those who we think might not understand. But we need to begin to ask ourselves, who are we really protecting when we do that? Because the same people who we think don't understand are the same people who make the democracy, the first black democracy in the world, as strong as it is today. No. I don't buy this argument that we should protect people from information, I buy the argument, give the people the information, make them ask the question, then you come clarify. You should not leave the space for somebody else to put the crap out there. Then you have to come clarify what you're doing now to the same people who you say you're going to protect in the first place. You're confusing them, because now the first thing they heard forms the foundation of truth for them. Now when you come after with the information you come with, them are going to think say a lie you tell. Kind of the first place why you never can tell with this. And as I said to you, somebody said earlier, oh, no deal is reached, so there's nothing to tell. But now, no deal still no reach. 10:42 in a night, yeah. No deal no sign, no memorandum no sign, but there has to be an explanation. And that's why I say, I am not bothered by the argument that is against my argument. I like these debates. Because you know what, neighbor? 11 times out of 10. Right. Continue, neighbor.
Well, have a great night, because I'm getting the wrong.
Can I ask a question to protect him before he runs away?
Yes.
Yes, Can I ask a question before you?
I will answer you, my friend. Of course.
Let me ask you this question. Why would Dr. Chang, or why the government responded or produced that press release today? Why? What caused it? What triggered it?
Because the fan is spreading a lot of shit and you have to come map it up, if I may use that
term.
Sir,
I'm asking you, what triggered that? What caused it?
Again, Chopper,
yes.
Live in a global community, everybody leaks.
So I'm asking you what caused it.
Oh,
you put it around in the answer to the question.
My enemies caused it, the cleaner.
Good. So let me ask you, what control do you or I have over the cleaner?
We don't need to control the cleaner.
Hold on a second, man. What control you or I or any one of us have over the cleaner creating a headline to generate clicks, and by virtue of doing that, cause controversy in the space? How do you come out against that? Tell me.
Let me respond to you this way, Chopper. Since Neighbour was about to say good night, let me respond to you this way. I have been on many battlefields. things. And you know what my team, my unit and I would do before we go up on the battlefield? We study the enemy so we can preempt their moves. So if I know that this is how this entity might behave just in case there is a scenario where some information gets to this point, then I prepare my unit because this might happen. So should in case this happen, this is how we respond.
My brother, you are going too far, man. You're losing me because I'm simply asking you if we don't know that the cleaner is going to leak a story or is going to create a headline. We don't know these things, but they happen. I'm asking you,
Chopper,
how do we preempt it?
Chopper.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I can answer any other way than to say I always expect the unexpected.
So let's go out there then. So because you expect the unexpected, can I ask you, is it okay for us to recommend to the Ministry of National Security and also the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that all the negotiations that you have ongoing now, you should come out to the Jamaican people and find a way to tell it to them because the possibility, hold on a second, let me finish, because the possibility exists that somebody might leak it, and as such, you ought to get ahead of these stories. So the 500 different negotiations that you have going on in secrecy, please.
My brother, I think you're going too far right there. Again, democracy is not an exclusive social club. The governance of a people is entirely about and in the interest of the people, or should entirely be. No. I know very well, even more than you, the importance of national security. I know that very well. But this is not a matter that is that deep. No, this is something. Belize, Mexico, Bahamas, when the first discussion started, they rejected flatly all this anabalu because the citizens started to have concerns. They went back to the table and there were new proposals, and then a few of them warmed up, like Belize, because Mexico is a part of the program at some point. No. Again, this is not an exclusive situation. Just as I said to you, I am not saying in entirety that a particular action should have been taken because none of us understands exactly what the discussions are and where they are. But just as though our lovely minister has to now respond to propaganda putting correct information out there, it is the same information that can be shared, and I hold to that. Democracy functions for the people.
Nonsense.
Democracy functions for the people.
You can't have national security.
If we become so afraid of having discussions with the people because we don't trust that the people is going to understand what we are discussing, why can't we help the people to understand?
Listen, man, you always come with it. Let me tell you what I detect from the protective, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't have time to play hypocrite or bullshit around, I am telling you that you have a consistent argument to push, and doesn't matter where the argument goes, you are going to pivot back to blaming the government. That's a common lifestyle. Stop it.
Chopper, and if you see my encouragement to have discussion with the people who cause democracy to exist as a blame, why would you see something as an encouragement to talk with the people who established the very democracy that we have? Why is that a blame?
You spend 90% of your time talking about what the government should have done.
It is the people.
1 ounce of blame at the cleaners' feet. For the propaganda.
Chopper, but you weren't listening. Neighbor, clarify that for me because Chopper will not
you
take
said it for 2 seconds.
But that's where I started.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yes. Majority, half of my channel leading up to the election was exposing the cleaner because I had a mole in the cleaner. What you talking about?
I'm talking about no. This issue. You spend 3/4 of your time talking about what the government has done, and you have not highlighted what the cleaner has done.
Chopper,
get off of it.
You are wrestling with the wrong opponent. You are wrestling with the wrong opponent, Chopper. My position, you notice I have not challenged your position because it could very well mean that all positions can be true. I'm not attacking you personally, Chopper. I have no interest in that. My interest when I speak publicly is in support of one, my government, my party. I don't know if you have shed blood for this party, I have.
All right.
I am in support of my party.
Yeah.
And number two, I am in support of the progress and development of Jamaica, being led by the Jamaica Labour Party. So when I speak here, I don't want nobody to attack me. I am holding the positions I hold.
You are in pursuit of those which you just mentioned. Then don't talk about it. Be about it. Don't build your house and tear it down. I said to you, you have spent 3/4 of your time talking about what the party and what Dr. Chang and what the ministry should have done. And you have not highlighted the discrepancy in the Gleaner's article. I said that.
Okay, Chopper. Well,
and I'm not moving away from it. Let it go.
Well, Dr. Chang have clarified my point and he has not yet blamed the Gleaner. Are you going to argue with Dr. Chang?
Dr. Chang is a minister of government.
No, but he has clarified my position and he has not argued with the Gleaner. Are you going to blame him?
Dr. Chang already told them that they are living off blood money. What more you want?
Chopper, Dr. Chang have clarified the position I have made here tonight and he has not argued with the Gleaner. Are you going to argue with Dr. Chang?
Gentlemen, this is very unproductive. Please, we're on the same team.
Take care, Chops. Take care, protecting. Well, I think we can wrap it there. So sometimes we have to allow the guys to get on with it like that. But fascinating discussion, Harry.
It is, Neighbour. It definitely is. But I want people to understand that matters of foreign affairs, Neighbour, is very delicate and sensitive. Right? It can affect more than one party. It can affect even parties who are not necessarily at the table. For example, one of the foreign affairs issue when Jamaica at the UN abstained from voting, we could have said, listen, the government should have come talk to we about it and tell you why them abstain, why them never go one side or the other. So that is the sensitive nature of it. But nobody, came out and said the government should have spoken to its people before taking a stance. That never happened. Manley never did it in his time, and no government leading up to the present has ever, gone to, I won't want to say a public referendum, but they understood the matter, analyzed it, see what was best for the people who voted for them and those who may have not voted, but Jamaicans on a whole, to see what is best for the country. And I think had this not been leaked, we would have gotten an announcement when they were probably going to the table, having finalized, going through several agreements. I think that is something that would have been critical, because then it would force people to criticize the tangible deal and not the assumptions of what could be, because that is a conversation that's going to happen probably for the next 9 days, because in Jamaica, some things are 9-day talk. But I think, Neighbour, it's really one that is not productive, especially, like I said, we're facing with more serious matters, things that are priorities. This isn't one, right? And anybody can come, feel free and challenge me on that. This isn't a priority, in all honesty. It's just a sad day that journalists don't understand journalism anymore, and more they're giving us evidence in a case against them to say that eventually they will not be taken seriously. and that they will become a thing of the past, maybe a replica, Neighbour, or something becoming obsolete. Because the more this continues, I think that is the more Jamaicans will, have a great distrust in them as an institution that should have been a staple in helping Jamaicans get the facts rather than the agenda in a nation, especially in a time like this where things travel a lot faster than ever before. And when you misrepresent information deliberately or not deliberately, consciously or unconsciously, you have a duty to ensure that you clear the air. And I do hope, the Gleaner, I'm not holding my breath on it though, but I do hope they come and give clarity on it, or at least in the press conference that the government will push back on something like this, because we've seen where they buckle under the pressure from reporting a story that was factual, but because one little letter from a lawyer, they retract the story. They're up against the government now, and I'd love to see, true patriotism. I'd love to see the advancement of Jamaica, true sense prevail. But like I said, I'm not holding my breath from an institution like the Gleaner, who has proven time and time again that they can't be trusted and that they are becoming a dinosaur and soon to be extinct.
Neighbour, before you go, 30 more seconds before you go, Neighbour. And I know I'm speaking to 300 odd people here now and others. Tomorrow, when the press conference is being had, and when the information will be now shared by the minister, I need everybody to ask yourselves, is there a deal yet? Is the discussions complete? Have we reached a point where all parties agreed? And when you ask yourself that question, I need you to answer it for yourself too. If the information that I am talking about will be shared tomorrow at the post-cab press conference, if that information will be shared to give a better and a broader understanding of what is being discussed, if that information will hurt Jamaica's foreign affairs, and when you answer these questions, then you come right back to tonight. Bring your memories back to tonight. And remember what I have been saying. If not deal nor reach, but information will be shared tomorrow. What was the problem for something as sensitive as this that caused problem in another country? In the government's effort to consider all the other circumstances, why didn't they realize that something this sensitive that you might be forced into, nobody knows, or you might just agree? Why didn't you see the importance of sharing whatever information will be shared tomorrow from yesterday? And when you answer that, then you will be able to conclude on the discussions tonight, and you will see why I continue to hold my ground. Good night, true patriots of Jamaica.
Well, I thank you. I thank you so much for protecting. We're bang on the lip.
I'm going to ask you to give Mr. Pang a few minutes. Could you please accept him, please?
Pang, who is that?
Look on your side, please.
Okay, yeah, all right.
No, Neighbour, I said Mr. Pang.
Oh, Mr. Pang. Okay. Here's Mr. Pang. Hello, Mr. Pang.
Yeah, good night, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, my news of today is at 5 minutes to 12 today on Cliff Hughes Online. George Davis interviewed the lady who coordinated the program for the diaspora.
Uh-huh.
And she said all the They were looking on issues to talk about at the conference. And crime did not come in at number 5, not even number 5.
Wow.
It was health, education, and all of those things. And first time, crime was the only issue. But this conference, it doesn't even appear at number 5. That's my news of the day. Thank you very much.
Well, that's fantastic.
Thanks.
Okay. Shefreen, thank you for the extra time on YouTube. My YouTubers, Patreon, X viewers, a fascinating discussion. I'm sure that if news break on this tomorrow, we'll bring it to you and we'll have it for you. We'll cover it for you. And we hope that we were able to provide you with some factual information. I want to thank Member Harry for researching as the program was going on so that he could be providing you with the information. I was here from early trying to see if I can get a hang on the story. I want to thank my team for the support, my producer, and of course, all of the Politics Plus moderators, etc., etc., etc. Member Harry, thank you so much, sir.
Always a pleasure, neighbor. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for bringing the balance and the research. Fantastic. We're way out of time and we're at 11 o'clock. So I want to thank everybody for staying with us. Join us again tomorrow at 7 o'clock when we'll do this all over again. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves. All right?